Hello and welcome to NXTGEN Racing, the home of clean and fair sim racing for all.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to NXTGEN Racing, live on YouTube, live on Facebook, and live on Kick. You join us for the final round of the GT3 Season 7, hosted by NXTGEN Racing. Final round, 10 rounds upon us, and the end of the season. Champions will be crowned at the end of tonight, and we bring it to you here from the Circuit de la Sarthe, the Le Mans circuit. Where else is this championship going to end? This is round 10 of the championship, hosted from the infamous circuit that hosts the 24 Hours of Le Mans each year. We've got championship battles awaiting for us tonight. We have 3 categories in this championship, plus a team's championship, and all categories will be watched tonight as the season comes to a close. But first, a little bit about the series. This is NXTGEN Racing GT3 Season 7. 7 seasons. It's been absolutely amazing ride so far, and a Season 8, I can confirm, is in the works. I haven't got much more information than that, but Season 8 is in the works, so please keep an eye on NXTGEN Racing on Facebook and on all of our socials, including X and Instagram, but also Discord. If you scan the QR code on the lower left of our screen there, or click the Discord link in our description if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, you get access to NXTGEN Racing's Discord server. From there you will meet the drivers and you can meet the admins. And you can also get involved in the series and all the leagues that NXTGEN have to host, should you wish to. This is Thursday night racing here at NXTGEN Racing. There are also Tuesday night leagues in the form of touring cars, the NXTGEN, which resumes from round 4 next week, and that will be at Thruxton Circuit. And it's also a Legends League featuring the Legends 34 Coupe car, which is hosted on alternate Tuesdays surrounding the NXTGEN rounds. But this is GT3 racing we're hosting tonight. It is a fixed setup series. All drivers will have to drive a setup that's given to them with the cars, so it is purely a series about skill and driver adaptation to said setups. They're not allowed to change anything other than the brake bias on their cars. They're not allowed to change ride height, not allowed to change tyre pressure. Crucially for tonight being at Le Mans, they're not allowed to change wing angle either. So the car out of the box is what they should drive for the series. And that's what makes this series so exciting. And it is a series catered for all skills of drivers. We have 3 categories, or classes if you like to call them by that, in this championship. And they're named Gold, Silver and Bronze category. Gold drivers typically consist of drivers that are the top third of the field. The middle third are the silver category, and the lesser experienced drivers will typically go into the bronze category. And let's give a big shout out to our partner sponsors and affiliates here at NXTGEN Racing that include PowerMax Racing, Mark Sykes Designs, Benji Sim Photos, Motorsport UK Esports, Sam Cases, Moser Racing, Joyce Design, Falconer PC, and Doble Motorcycles. And this is the championship, and the rounds of the championship we have been through this season. We started off all of them months ago, back in March, for the Mulsanne World Circuit in Italy, and then it was round 2 of the championship at the Watkins Glen Circuit in the USA. The rounds, labelled in gold text and gold stars to the left of them, signal the endurance rounds of this championship as the multi-format league, which we'll go through very shortly. But you can see round 3 at the championship was hosted at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, aka Montreal, for round 3 at the championship, for the first of 3 endurance rounds of the championship. It was in Britain for round 4 at Snetterton. Was meant to be at Donington Park, but not enough grid stalls due to the huge grids we have here at NXTGEN Racing in this GT3 championship. Snetterton therefore had to take its place. The first half of the season was seen out by Zandvoort in the Netherlands, and then we were back to the endurance rounds for the resumption of the second half of the season. Bathurst Mounts Panorama Circuit was the second of 3 endurance rounds of the championship. Round 7 was hosted in Portugal at the Portimão Circuit, also known as the Algarve International, and it was back in Britain, which was 2 weeks ago now, for round 8 of the championship at Silverstone. Round 9 of the championship was hosted at the Canadian Tire Mosport circuit, which was last week's round, and it was the last round of the sprint and feature race rounds, and those rounds that are labelled with the white text were sprint race and feature race rounds. The sprint races were 20 minutes, and the grid for them was set by a 20-minute qualifying session, and then after the 20-minute sprint race there was a 60-minute feature race. But as we mentioned, the Gold Star and Gold Text races are 2-hour endurance rounds, and today is the third of them. It's our final round of the championship, and therefore our third endurance round of the championship. It is Le Mans, the Circuit de la Sarthe, that hosts the final round of the championship. All roads lead to Le Mans, don't they? Well, they should if they don't. And this is the climax to this fantastic championship. And because it's GT3 racing, there are a plethora of cars that are available to choose from in this championship. GT3 is probably the biggest catalogue, I would say, of iRacing's choice of cars, and it includes the Acura NSX GT3 car, the Audi R8 LMS Evo 2, BMW M4, the Chevrolet Corvette Z06, the Ferrari 296, the Ford Mustang, the Lamborghini Huracan Evo, the McLaren 720S Evo, the Mercedes AMG, and the Porsche 911 R992. And here we go, 10th round of the championship. Plenty of championship battles awaiting us tonight. 3 to be precise of the 4 that there are in this championship. One of them is sewn up already, which we'll go through very, very shortly. But we're here at the Le Mans circuit, and a little bit about the circuit before we get going with the championship standings heading into tonight. We're in the northwest of France at Le Mans, which is hosting the 24 Hours of Le Mans very, very soon. We're about 6 kilometres south outside of Le Mans town, and we're around about 200 kilometres southwest of Paris. And this track, legendary in its own right, it just various corners and various shots of the circuit that you can even see in the background here are just picturesque with racing itself. It is definitely on the Mount Rushmore of racing circuits around the world. And it was first raced in 1920, and its first 24-hour race was in 1923, so 102 years ago. And there are some legendary names that have won over the years. Tom Christensen is the most decorated driver here, of 9 wins at the 24 Hours at Le Mans. And Porsche have won 19 times, Audi have won 13 times, and Ferrari have won 11 times over the years. It's an 8.4 mile circuit, or 13.6 kilometres, and I've looked for the amount of turns there are on this circuit, and lots of sources suggest different numbers of corners around this circuit, and that just goes to show how long, how big, how vast this circuit actually is. But enough about the circuit. Let's talk about the championship situation heading into tonight, because that will be what you folks are tuning in to watch. To watch your drivers lay claim to championships, fight for championships, and we'll start off with the gold category here, and it is Ben McCluskey who leads the championship heading into tonight. He leads by 24 points from Stephan Wessels. And of course, coming into tonight as well, there are certain tasks that the drivers have got to achieve to get said championships. We've got all of that worked out. It's a 26-point gap between Ben McCluskey and Stephan Wessels, and Ben McCluskey merely only needs to secure 5th position in tonight's race to secure that championship. And the reason I say that, there is a gap of approximately 5 points. I say approximately because the majority of the higher finishing positions are separated by 5 points per scoring position. And the drivers who are typically contesting in these championship rounds probably are going to be likely into those positions. But there are also 2 bonus points per category for fastest lap in each race. So that's all to consider as well. So McCluskey, as we mentioned, if he finishes 5th position in gold category, he takes the championship. And so far tonight in practice, not only is he quicker than his championship rival Stephan Wessels, but he's 3rd place in practice right now as well. So all looking good for McCluskey. But the thing is with tonight that we should also mention is that this is not a drop round, and also DNFs, so meaning you do not finish the race, equals 0 points. So it is crucial that drivers not only finish the race but do well in this race. And also, banging up the car halfway around the track means you've got a big toe back to the pitch, which means it's going to put you down the order and far behind the pack. None of these drivers can really afford mistakes at this point in the championship still. But let's continue on with the gold standings. It's McCluskey and Wessels at the top of the standings, and they're fighting out for the championship tonight. Harry Langford sits in third place, and he has not yet got third place secured. Mathematically, he hasn't, but he has got one hand on the third place trophy, but he has got to do well tonight to secure it. Gaz Williams is in fourth position, and he heads that battle. Pretty much a three-way fight for fourth place in the Gold Championship, and that's between himself, Ben Alcher, and Jack Pittas. Ben Alcher of the three is the only one this season who has won a race in the Gold category, and he was fourth place heading into last week, but there's only 1 point separating himself and Gaz Williams, and 3 points only separating Gaz Williams and Jack Pittas. A very close fight for fourth place, and pretty much whoever finishes above of the trio will take fourth in the championship. Mike Barber is 7th place. He was in that fight for 4th place, but missing Mossport last week has really hampered him a little bit, and it puts him down a few places to 7th place. 8th place is Jamie Dory, followed by Jake Pitt and Lucas Seedor in 10th position. Our next championship fight is in the silver category, and it is between Jeffrey Kruger and Matthew Cheverton, separated by just 20 points, which really isn't that much at all. And it does mean that Kruger needs to finish 4th or higher to claim the championship tonight. And in the silver category tonight, there are 9 drivers, so there's plenty to fight for in this silver category, and plenty can happen in this category. It's been super close between Kruger and Cheverton all the way through the season. You only have to look at a few rounds where there was a big gap in points between them. If you look at round 1, just 1 point between them. If you look at round 5, just 3 points between them. Just 5 between them in round 6. Just 3 between them in round 8, and just 2 between them last week at Mossport. It's been very close between them all season, but it is Kruger who heads that battle. 20-point gap, and he needs to finish 4th or higher, as we mentioned. Matthew Addy is in 3rd position, followed by Phil McDougall in 4th place, and Alan McCain is in 5th position. And by the way, 3rd and 4th still up for grabs between the two of them. Phil McDougall going for it, but Matthew Addy definitely has the advantage for 3rd place. Alan McCain, as we mentioned, in 5th position, with George Stone in 6th position, having one of his better rounds last time out at Mossport. Nigel Stock is not contending tonight, but he's 7th, and same with Jason Raff, he's not attending tonight. Paul Williams in 9th, and 10th place is Mark Baker. Bronze category is already sewn up. Adam Wilson-Weir holds the championship title in bronze category, but he'll be going for his 9th win tonight if he can secure it, and his 2nd endurance round win of the championship. Jonathan Berry is going for 2nd in the championship. He's got ahead of Robert Savage, but it's a gap of just 9 points between them. So Jonathan Berry very much needs to keep himself going to get that 2nd place. And equally, Gabriel Papaconstantino is in that fight. He sits in 4th. Stein Vaden's in 5th place, followed by Mark Sykes in 6th. Danny Switzer in 7th, from Michael Evangeli in 8th. Simon Hunt 9th. And last season's outgoing champion, Elwyn Sykes, is 10th. And the teams category, CSA Team Woza hold the lead in the championship by 33 points, which is a good margin, but it's going to need to be sewn up tonight in good fashion for them to secure it. They are rivaled by Missionar, powered by Mords, piloted by Adam Wilson-Weir and George Stone for tonight's round. And CSA Team Woza consisting of Stephan Wessels and Jeffrey Kruger. So there we go. We're heading into not qualifying. We're heading into the race very, very shortly, ladies and gentlemen. In these endurance rounds here at NXTGEN Racing in the GT3 League on Thursdays, it is just a practice warm-up session, and then we head straight into the race. And the race grid is formed by the championship standings heading into tonight's round, but each category are grouped together, and then they are reversed. So starting at the back of the gold category will be championship rivals and championship battalions, Benji McCluskey and Stephan Wessels. Similar with silver category, Jeffrey Kruger will start at the back of that category along with Matthew Cheverton. And that's how it's going to go tonight. So we got a different overlay for us tonight, ladies and gentlemen, as you'll mention, as we're about to head into the next round of the championship, the final round of the championship. We're using the WEC overlay here, just as a little celebration of the season and a little celebration of the fact we're here at Le Mans today. So I hope you like it, and I hope you enjoy the racing tonight. We're about to finish the practice session, drivers in the pit, and there's a couple of drivers still out there getting their practice in. And I thought for a minute, our champion in bronze category, Adam Wilson-Weir, who tied up the bronze category championship before the sprint race had even started last week, because his main championship rival could not quite attend the sprint race last time out. It was a shame, really, but Adam Wilson-Weir won it before the race had even started, which is extraordinary, really. What a dominant season he's had. But we have got plenty of other championship fights to keep an eye on tonight, and we'll keep you updated as the night goes on. We're heading straight into the 2-hour endurance now, and therefore here is our grid for the final round of the championship here at Le Mans. We'll start with the gold category first of all, and it is on the front row, Sean Shute starting at the front, and he's got Corey Price alongside, and Corey Price won the first endurance round of the championship at Montreal, so look out for him in tonight's round. Ben Bennyworth is in third place with Jamie Dory alongside him in fourth position. Mike Barber will start fifth position with Jack Pittas alongside. Jack Pittas going for fourth in the championship, and he's fighting against those on the fourth row, Ben Outra and Gaz Williams. And starting at the back of the main bulk of the gold category is Harry Langford, Stephan Wessels and Ben McCluskey, and I believe Jesse Payne-Wilkins is serving a back-of-grid penalty. Silver category next, and it's Alejandro Yolate, who hasn't attended many rounds this season. He's on the front row of the silver category with Ian Manners alongside. Mark Baker will line up third on the grid in the silver category with Paul Williams alongside in fourth position. In fifth position is George Stone with Alan McCain starting alongside in sixth position. Starting in seventh position is Phil McDougall, and he is alongside his rival for third in the silver championship, Matthew Addy. Matthew Cheverton will line up ninth with Jeffrey Kruger alongside. They'll start at the back of the silver category grid, fighting for the championship. Bronze category, it's Matt Gatter at the front of the grid with Stephen de Gravelia second place in the BMW. Sammy Ariba will start third position with Andy Chell alongside in fourth position. Andy Rooney will start fifth position with last season's bronze category champion Elwyn Sykes starting sixth in this race, and Simon Hunt will start seventh alongside Michael Evangeli. Mark Sykes, Mr. Next Gen himself, will start ninth on the grid with Stein Vatens alongside in 10th position. Gabriel Papaconstantino will start 11th position, and he'll be going for second in the championship up against Robert Savage. Winner of the championship already, Adam Wilson-Weir will start 13th, and Jonathan Berry will start one place further back, or one place to the right. Jonathan Berry has a back-of-grid penalty to serve, but that only puts him back one place on this grid. And Wesley Lewin will also start from the back of the grid, starting 15th. That's our grid, and as we mentioned, it is the championship standings heading into tonight, and grouped in their categories and reversed from those championship standings, and a couple of back-of-grid penalties to go along with it as well. So here we go, we're about to get underway with our formation lap, or half of our formation lap, should we say. And Andy Rooney starting from the pits, as we can see down there, and that'll disadvantage him at the start just a little bit. But we get underway with this formation lap. So the drivers to keep an eye on tonight, ladies and gentlemen, in the gold category it'll be Ben McCluskey and Stephan Wessels, and in the silver category it's Matthew Cheverton and Jeffrey Kruger. And of course we're also watching drivers in the teams championship. We're looking out for CSA Team Woza drivers, and they are our championship protagonists, Kruger and Wessels. But also we're keeping an eye on Mission Ords powered by R as well, and that is Adam Wilson-Weir and George Stone. We are heading towards the start of this race. And if you notice here, the gold category are starting well up front here. The silver category are quite a long way back here, and likewise with the bronze category are quite far back as well. And it is because we have grouped starts for this race. So that was Corey Price and Sean Shute on the front row of the grid, leading us towards the start point for this race. It's a 2-hour race, as we mentioned, ladies and gentlemen. We'll get at least 2 stops in this race, and weather shouldn't be an impact on this race. He says, No commentator's curse here. Maybe. We'll see what we get tonight. The pace car will peel off. And we'll go through the narrow chicanes. But in this category, in the gold category anyway, there's only 12 drivers. So it's not going to be too bad to negotiate this chicane. There's 10 drivers in silver category tonight. And there's 15 drivers, but 14 taking the start in the bronze category as Andy Rooney starts from the pits. Here we go. Onto the main straight we go. Sean Shute will lead us off the line. And away we go for round 10 of the Next Gen Racing GT3 League. As we head up towards turn number 1, a long sweeping right-hander up towards the chicane. It's Corey Price. He's got himself in front early on here, and a great start from Jamie Dory. He's going to get to the inside. No, not quite. Oh, and there's a big move to the inside there, and a car spun around. That's Ben Altria, and that's really going to impact his championship bid. 4/3 in the championship, and look at that, Ben McCluskey was caught in that instant as well. He drops down some positions. Silver category are about to get going, as you can see coming around this corner now. Alejandro Iolate will lead them to the line, and they'll head off for the start of their race. Okay, a bit of a delayed start there, but Iolate gets off the line. And with Ian Manners in second place, and as they lead up towards the chicane, we've also got the bronze category back there starting very shortly as well. Let's just see them across the line. Stephen de Gravelia and Matt Gatter will lead them towards the line. And off they go. And it was a good start by the looks of it from Stephen de Gravelia, but let's just check back in with the gold category. Here's McCluskey following Ben Altria. The two Mustangs now have to work together to get themselves back towards the main pack. But at the front, it is Corey Price leading in the gold category as they're on the Mulsanne straight right now. We've got side-by-side here for third place between Jack Pittas and Sean Shute. As we lead up towards the chicane now. Still side-by-side between the two as we head up to the second of the two chicanes. Still got the inside just about is Sean Shute, but he's not letting off on the brakes. Through goes Jack Pittas. Let's just check back in on the silver category. They're on the Mulsanne straight right now, but leading is Alejandro Iolate, and we've got a big scuffle back here. Look at that, poking out from the slipstream there. I believe it's George Stone looking to the inside of McDougall, but he does not commit the move, and Cheverton is just behind here. He's moved up a few places and just avoiding the wall then was Paul Williams. Oh, and he's guarding the place from Jeffrey Kruger, who has to move off the tarmac there to get it alongside Paul Williams and avoid contact. But Cheverton, a good start to this race. He's now alongside George Stone heading up to the second chicane. He's definitely got the advantage of top-end speed down this straight. And I have heard a thing or two that the Mustang will actually be a fairly quick car on this track, particularly down those main straights, as through goes Cheverton, and he's up to 5th place in category already. In the bronze
penalty, car 113 for failing to serve a slowdown.
113 already with the penalty, and that is Sean Shute in 4th place in gold category. So a really bad start to this race already for the South African. Now leading this race is Stephen de Gravelia. A good start to this race for him. He's at the front there, and the BMW is another car that might be pretty good on this track with its ability on long straights. Our championship winner Wilson-Weir is in 11th place in category at the moment. Good progress at the start, but he can fairly relax in this race tonight as he's got all his work done and dusted. Now, silver category alongside between Cheverton and McDougall. Cheverton is through. This is a very good start to this race for Cheverton. Kruger is back there alongside Matthew Addy as well. And he's through. He's up into 7th place in category. But checking on Cheverton, he's guarding the inside through Indianapolis. Fantastic sequence of corners, and Iolate's dropped a few places here. It's now Ian Manners in the lead of this race, and as we go to the next corner here, we move from Iolate, but Cheverton is close to the top of the field already looking very, very strong as we head out of Arnage. Now end of lap 1 for the gold category, and Jamie Dory moving to the inside there. That might be a slow down penalty being served by him. Through goes Jack Pittas into 2nd position. And keeping an eye on our championship protagonist, Wessels is in 8th place. He hasn't moved up many places from the start yet, but it's a long race. 2 hours in duration and 2 pit stops to think about as well. So patience is the name of the game here. You have to be patient here at Le Mans. It is so easy to make mistakes here as well. But we've got Harry Langford, who has got a third nearly sewn up. He just needs to make sure he finishes this race. And Gaz Williams in front. He's fighting for 4th in the championship. He's up against Jack Pittas, up in 3rd place, and further behind Ben Outra, who's in 12th place at the moment. He was caught in that incident at the start of the race, which spun him round and lost him quite a lot of positions. We'll see if we can get a replay of that right now. I think we've got it here. So here we go. In the middle of our screen there is Ben Outra. He's in the multicoloured livery. 4 wide, 2 Quatermass cars. Well, a Quatermass car going to the inside and making it a 4 wide situation. And McCluskey was just a passenger in that. And he had nowhere else to go. So, bad luck for them two, McCluskey and Altria. Let's see how they get on later on. Jamie Dory versus Sean Shute. Now, Sean Shute does have a drive-through penalty to serve. Hasn't served it yet. Long laps here at Le Mans as well. But Sean Shute looks to be through. Yes, he is. He's into 3rd place provisionally at the moment. And he's going to try and tail Jack Pittas in the Quatermass car just ahead. Corey Price, a really good start to this race. Now, as I mentioned earlier on, Corey Price won the endurance round at Montreal all them months ago, round 3 of the championship. And there's quite a few drivers in the pits as well. Ben Outry is one of them. So that's a really bad start to his race. We've got Steinvatens in the pits. We've also got Sykes in the pits, Elwyn Sykes and Simon Hunt. So early pit stops for them drivers. Mark Baker has taken the lead in the silver category, and Ian Manners has dropped down the order considerably here. So we'll see if anything's happened to Ben Outra while we were looking away. Nothing has come up on screen, but let's see if something's happened here actually to Ian Manners. In a few places here as we're going through the Porsche Curves. And gets back to the inside. Oh, nearly contact between him and Cheverton. But as we continue on through what's called the karting corner. Oh, it is his official name actually. Looking at the track map, I thought it was just a nickname for that corner. But here we go. Matthew Cheverton looking all around. Ian Manners there to the chicane. Bit of contact between Cheverton on entry to the chicane, but nothing doing from it. By the looks of it, it's just a few places lost for Ian Manners, but we're going to go back to the live action here. A bit of side-by-side action. This is Paul Williams and Matthew Addy, and Cheverton is right behind them as well. Cheverton goes to the outside of Matthew Addy as he tries to get through into 6th position. Jeffrey Kruger is behind there in 9th position. And look at this, 3 wide heading into Arnold's corner. And somehow none of them spin it. And Ian Manners is joining in as well. But Cheverton's through. Somehow he made that work. Now let's just get another shot of that once we're... Yeah, I'd say let's get another shot of that now. That was a big move from Cheverton. And Matthew Addy equally trying to make the move as well. There we go. The driver in the middle of that, which I think was Paul Williams, might not have been a bit happy about that, but it's still raging on here. Paul Williams has got Ian Manners pressurising in behind, and Jeffrey Kruger is right at the tail of this battle. And Jeffrey Kruger, in his mind right now, will not be wanting to risk too much. You definitely want to be getting the moves done safely but surely. As we head down to the chicanes, this is another lap completed. No big moves yet from Kruger, but Cheverton is quite a way clear at the moment. I guess later on in the race we'll get an idea of how the championship situation looks on an as-it-stands basis. But this is a good start to the race for Cheverton. In 5th position at the moment, and his rival down in 8th place, which, if I'm just using my head right now, is still not enough to win the championship, but Kruger is now making moves. He is past Ian Manners, and he's done a nice up and under there to get it alongside Paul Williams as we head out of the first chicane, and then over the hill. Is he passed? It's still side by side by the seeming of it between him and Paul Williams, but he has the better line, does Kruger, and through he goes. He's up into 7th place. Into the Mulsanne straight he goes, and with that battling, Cheverton has blasted his way up the road a little bit more, and Cheverton can now set his sights on the cars ahead, which is George Stone and Phil McDougall here battling for 3rd position. Outside line here for George Stone as we head towards the first of 2 chicanes on the Mulsanne straight. Side by side between the two, and that looks like a pretty good move from George Stone. He's through. Fantastic move, in fact. Nice late braking and holding his line very well, and both giving each other good racing room. Now back to the gold category. Still no progress from McCluskey. He's very much been on the catch-up here. But equally still, Wessels is still in 8th place. And this is quite a lengthy trail of cars here, leading up towards Jack Pittas in 2nd position, and there's a 6-second gap between Corey Price in the lead of this race and Jack Pittas. This is a very good start to the race for Corey Price. Pittas has broken away a little bit from Sean Shute, who still needs to serve his penalty. He's got Ben Bennyworth right behind him. Jamie Dory follows, then Gaz Williams, Harry Langford behind, and Stephan Wessels, 2nd in the championship, 8th on the road right now. Remember, as they started, ladies and gentlemen, they started in the championship order but reversed. So the guys who are at the top of the championship table, who start at the back of the category for this race. Wessels has moved up a few places from the start already, just 2 places. Side by side between Papa Constantino and Sammy Ariba now. Papa Constantino is going for 2nd in the championship tonight. Now, it's going to be a bit tricky to work that one out, the 2nd, 3rd and 4th battle, but this is a good start to the race for Papa Constantino. 2nd place and quite a way clear of John Berry already. And Rob Savage is quite a way back, and now I think he's had a spin a couple of corners ago, but he's quite a way back in 9th position. Let's see if this is what happened. Oh, big shunt up the rear from another Mission R car. Got a feeling that was Andy Rooney, and it was. And that sends them both way back in the order. Now Sean Shute is now serving his drive-through penalty. This drops him down the order. It now puts Ben Bennyworth into 3rd place and Jamie Dory up to 4th place. And that equally does also put Ben McCluskey up 1 place, and also Stephan Wessels. Now the thing with the championship points coming out of endurance rounds is from 8th upwards, the gap between each position in terms of scoring points is 5 points. So once you're in that top 8, you are taking leaps and bounds when it comes to points per position you gain. So that's realistically where where Wessels needs to get up further just to really break the gap away from McCluskey. Needs to be around about a 5-position gap between himself and McCluskey for Wessels to secure this race tonight. But McCluskey is catching up slowly but surely. It's difficult to race on a track like this and difficult to catch drivers on a track like this, particularly with fixed setups. And this is a fixed setup league, as we mentioned. The drivers cannot change anything on their cars. I mentioned that earlier on at the start of this broadcast. The only thing they're allowed to change is brake bias. So when it comes to top-end speed and what you'll normally do for preparing for something like the majors on iRacing for the Le Mans 24 hours, is you'll adjust your gear ratios to get yourself a good top-end speed when you're alone on the track, or even when you're in traffic as well, to save some fuel but also gain on your opponents. You can't do that in this series. You are stuck with the gears you have on the car. So it's very difficult to get much better out of the cars on a track like this, where there are such long, fast, straight sections, including this one as we're heading down towards the Mulsanne corner. Heading into that corner now is Ben Bennyworth. No moves yet from Jamie Dory. It is a move that, when you're in the ranked servers, the official servers on iRacing, you'll see a lot of people make moves in that Mulsanne corner there. They're not doing that in this this race so far at the moment. It needs to be quite a sound, reliable, but still brave move into that corner, as we're seeing side by side between Jamie Dory. He had a good exit from the corner. He's got his nose in front already, and as we head down towards Indianapolis, Dory has got himself in front. He's now back into third place, ahead of Ben Bennyworth. Good stuff from Jamie Dory as we head into the next corner. It's just a trail of cars following through here, whilst Jack Pittas just blasts away at the front here. And remember what I said earlier on, and I'll remind you again, the battle for fourth in the championship between Jack Pittas, Gaz Williams and Ben Altra. Now Ben Altra, he's in a bit of trouble right now. In fact, I think he's actually out of the race right now. Might get race control to just confirm that for us, but I've got a feeling he is out of the race. But Pittas and Gaz Williams, pretty much whoever finishes in the higher position of the two of them will take fourth in the championship. At the moment, that is thoroughly controlled by Jack Pittas. He's got a comfortable 4-second gap to Jamie Dory at the moment. Gaz Williams is in the midst of this battle right here, that's trailing from Jack Pittas. Now, Stephan Wessels is slowing down here. I think he's had a slow down penalty from running off wide through the Porsche Curves, and that is going to drop him behind Ben McCluskey. So that might be a sigh of relief for Ben McCluskey, but that just goes to show how difficult it is round Le Mans. It's so easy to just trickle over the track limits, just push yourself a little bit harder through the corners. As Mike Barber drops back behind Jesse Payne-Wilkins here. But that's how easy it is to get off-track penalties here at Le Mans. That's why you might see a couple of drivers like Ben McCluskey there just being a bit conservative, not taking too much of the outer track there, just keeping the majority of the wheels on the grey stuff and keeping it off the curbs just to be sure that he doesn't get any off-track penalties in the form of slowdowns. You see they take some curb but not a huge amount, and same with coming out of the corner. We ride on board with McCluskey now. They're the risks that McCluskey is so good at not making, as we've seen 2 seasons in a row now, as he goes for his second championship on the trot in the gold category here at Next Gen Racing. Now we've got a battle here for silver category lead. This is Yolate versus Mark Baker, and I got a feeling Yolate just made a daring move to the inside at that chicane. And here we go, yes he has. Yolate braking super late, and he nearly runs off the track, but Mark Baker is not able to set it up out the corner because Yolate actually controlled it very, very well. And through he goes. The Costa Rican driver is leading the silver category right now. Matthew Cheverton's in third place. We saw that earlier, him getting up those positions, and Jeffrey Kruger in 6th place still. He's got quite some way to try and catch up with George Stoney, and he hasn't got any help from slipstream. It's purely got to be through speed to the corners and eventually pit stops. It's going to be very, very difficult for Kruger to catch this gap back up, particularly as the silver category is such a tight-knit bunch. Here we go. Ben Bennyworth versus Jamie Dory down the Mulsanne straight. They swap positions again. Back into 4th place goes Jamie Dory. Ben Altra, just to confirm, is still running in the race, but just a long way back, which is not helpful for his championship chances, for 4th in the championship that is, which is a bit of a shame really, because it happened so early on in the race as well. But he might have taken a fast repair, that might have been what it is. Now, bronze category, we haven't picked on them much so far tonight, but Stephen de Grelli leads. He's driving a really good race at the moment. I obviously know Stephen de Grelli. If you know me, you know I'm a certain team manager of a certain team, but he does like this track, and equally the BMW likes this track, so he's having a good one at it at the moment with a 5-second lead. And Papa Constantino is kept honest by Mark Sykes. Mark Sykes, who has come close on a few occasions to winning races this season, particularly Bathurst. And he was particularly quick last week at Mosport as well. He holds 3rd place right now in this race. Very striking chrome, green and chrome livery on his car there. Mr. NXTGEN himself in third place right now, going for second in this category. Now, John Berry is right behind. John Berry has got his sights set on Papaconstantino, because Papaconstantino has a chance at second in the championship based on a result tonight. But if John Berry can get close, or even past, that would all the more guarantee him second place if he can hold it. Championship winner, leader, Adam Wilson-Weir is in 7th position, right behind Andy Chow right now. I believe has switched cars for tonight. Andy Chow's driving the Mustang, and before, I believe he was driving the Porsche, I believe. So a couple of drivers will be changing cars for this last round of the season, just because it is the last round. Some drivers won't be going for championship glory, as we see John Berry past Mark Sykes on the straight there on the way down to Indianapolis, and that puts him down up into 3rd position. Now he's got his sights set on Papaconstantino just ahead. Also fighting for the 2nd spot in the championship is Robert Savage. But he's back here in 12th position. He had an issue, as we saw earlier on, being bumped up the rear by Andy Rooney. Has sent him off the track and well down the order. He's lost a lot of time here. But we'll see how he can recover his race. Into the sunshine on the other end of the circuit, and that's the thing with Le Mans, is one side of the circuit the weather and the conditions can be completely different to the other side of the track, and one side of the track is completely clouded over and one side of the track isn't. Now Corey Price leads this race. That is a lapped car behind, and a long way clear of Jack Pittas. This is very, very quick racing from Corey Price at the moment with the 10-second lead. And let's just check on fastest laps of the race so far, because they get the bonus 2 points at the end of this race, and so far that is held by Corey Price, Matthew Cheverton, which is extremely helpful for himself, and Gabriele Papaconstantino.
Stop and hold penalty for 15 seconds for car 37, failing to serve a slowdown.
That's Michael Evangeli. Now that's a stop and hold penalty, which means he has to go into the pits, stop in his pit box and hold at the time instructed by race control, and he goes straight into the pits. That's a shame for his race. Certainly impact his race a lot there, as we're seeing side by side between Andy Rooney and Sean Shute. Sean Shute with the other penalty, the drive-through penalty earlier on in the race, trying to get his race back on track, we can see here. Back in the silver category here. Now Cheverton is getting closer and closer to 1 and 2 in this race, and Mark Baker is all over the rear of Yolate heading up the main straight here. And look at him gain on the straights here. Look at that. Past he goes. Alongside the Mustang goes the McLaren. Oh, and into the corner. Yolate's just holding on to it, and as they head out of the chicane, a big wiggle of the rear end there from Yolate, but as they head out of the corner, it's still him holding 1st position. Guarding the inside still is Yolate, and now having to look to the outside is Mark Baker. He's going to go for that infamous move that I mentioned, going down into the Virage de Mulsanne. Oh, he's not quite alongside enough. Let's see what happens going into the hip, and he is later on the brake, so he is alongside, but he's going to try and take a late apex. And it's not a very good exit, actually, and that actually has now invited Cheverton in to pounce on that battle. He's right on the tail of this now. Mark Baker trying his best. He's got to try and look to the outside as we head down towards Indianapolis. Such a fun part of the circuit, one of my favourite parts of the circuit, and Mark Baker has actually got his nose in front, round the outside of Indianapolis, which is so fun to do, but Yolate powers it through on the outside, and he goes wide, but he brushes off the circuit and loses another place to Cheverton, who dives to the inside. Brilliant move from Cheverton. Oh, and a little bit of understeer on the exit, but Yolate gets an undercut here. He might be able to challenge Cheverton, but they're teammates. That's the other thing. So Yolate might not challenge this too much, or will he? No papaya rules here, maybe. But as they head up the straight, Cheverton currently holds the lead. And this driver's in the pits already. We've got the gold category in the pits already. And through goes Cheverton. And Mark Baker's fighting back. He's got the inside for the Porsche Curves now. On Ulate. Through they go. So close to the wall. And Phil McDougall is invited in this battle as well. Off the track a little bit. There goes Ulate. And McDougall's got the undercut here past Mark Baker into third place. Great move from Phil McDougall, reaping the benefits there of the slowing battle between Ulate and Mark Baker. Now as they head to the pits, Matthew Cheverton's got a slow down penalty there. As they head into the pits now, all drivers I think are going to head into the pits. It's not a very big window here, being able to save fuel. But I say that, and look who's doing another lap of the track. He does this all the time. It's Ben McCluskey who will carry on, and he's managed to save another lap of fuel. I don't know how he does it. It's incredible. But fuel-saving techniques like light braking, easing off the throttle early, easing on the throttle slowly, all things like that can help save fuel. McCluskey has been one of the masters of that this season. Now, Corey Price is back out on the track. He's just 37 seconds behind McCluskey. But of course,
drive-through penalty car 355 for speeding in pit lane.
No, that's Jesse Payne-Wilkins in the gold category, speeding in the pit lane. He'll have to go back through, and that's really going to put him out of contention for this battle here. The only driver in the field in the Lamborghini. And if we're doing GT3s next season, I do wonder if we're going to see any drivers in that Lamborghini. It'd be a bit of a... it's not much of a swan song for that Lamborghini tonight now. Silver category drivers in the pits, now heading out of the pits in actual fact. It's Phil McDougall in second place still. Cheverton is in fourth place now. He had to surrender first position. I believe he had a slow down penalty. And that drops him back down to fourth place. So he's got to try all those moves again that looked so great on the in-lap. We go back to the gold category though. This just shuffled up a little bit. Gaz Williams has got himself to the front of this pack. Past Jamie Dory and Ben Bennyworth and past Langford. He's now up into fourth place. So he's just one place behind Jack Pittas. But the aforementioned Jack Pittas is 6 seconds clear up the road. And he has one hand on fourth place in the championship as a result. Now what might change that is fastest lap bonus points if Gaz Williams can manage to secure it. That will really put a spanner in the works, but let's see what happens. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Looked like a very good stop actually for Ulate. He's clear by 1.5 seconds from Phil McDougall. And that's what we're going to see tonight. A lot of the battles are going to be done through the pit stops. And one of them's over already. And it's come quite quickly in the race. And it is a long lap here, don't forget. But it comes considerably earlier than the other endurance rounds and actually feature race rounds this season. Here, that's Ben Altra in the middle of this battle here. Ben Altra is a lap down. Kruger here in 7th place, struggling to make up places. He is gaining on Matthew Addy and George Stone up ahead. But Cheverton has got a big opportunity to move it into the lead. And the sooner Cheverton does that, the better he will be. Now he has made his way past Mark Baker, and here's how he got it done. It's on the Mulsanne straight, and it looks like a pretty good exit out of the virage. The Tetra Rouge. And through he goes. Nice exit from that corner to take 3rd place. Big wiggle of the car back then, heading out of the Mulsanne corner there from George Stone. It still holds it in front of Matthew Addy. He's under pressure now from Jeffrey Kruger. Let's see. Excuse me, that's Ben Altra just behind Matthew Addy. Ben Altra trying to get his race back on track, trying to make something up from this race. George Stone is in trouble here from Matthew Addy. George Stone hasn't really got any individual championship titles to go for. So we're seeing McDougall take the lead of the silver category there. But just talking about George Stone, the one thing he is fighting for tonight is the team's championship. His team, Mission R, powered by Mords, are going for first in the championship. They need to outscore CSA Team Woza, as we're seeing side by side. for second place in silver category. Cheverton is in the turquoise coloured Aztec car, and in the black and red Aztec car is Yolate, and it's a swap of positions there. Through goes Cheverton into second place. Nice, easy pickings of that move there for Cheverton, and it puts him so much of the way clear of Jeffrey Kruger. And the way things are right now, on an as it stands, Cheverton will win the championship, I believe. Yes, I do believe so. But Kruger is yet to make his way up the pack, which he may or may not do, and Cheverton here has got a chance to take first place here if he can keep in touch with Phil McDougall. The gravel spitting out from the back of the car there from McLaren. Meanwhile, gold category, it's so close between these 6 drivers, admittedly in packs of 3 here, but Langford has got himself in front of Gaz Williams. This is how he did it. And again, it's on the Mulsanne straight, and he's just cruised past Gaz Williams. Don't know if Gaz Williams had a bad exit, but that saw Langford through into 3rd place. Gaz Williams in a bit of trouble from Jamie Dory here. Now it would be interesting to see if Jamie Dory does contest with his fellow next-gen drivers too much, who are battling for championships. But Gaz Williams is in threat of 5th in the championship here. Jack Pittas is definitely in the advantage position right now. Oh, a bit wide there for Harry Langford. Langford himself is just focusing on finishing this race, as he needs to secure 3rd in the championship. He can't finish too far down in the gold category, and he can't not finish the race. Oh, Jonathan Berry has had an incident. We've seen him facing the wall there, so let's just see what's happened to him. We'll have to go back a little bit further than that. Contact between him and Matthew Cheverton. No, Gabriel Papaconstantino, that is actually. So here we go. John Berry goes to the outside at turn number 2. As they head through 3. Oh, so close on the exit there. John Berry not giving much room on the inside, but as they head through the next few curves, Papaconstantino's still just about got the inside there, and there's no more room for Papaconstantino. I'm sorry to say, but I got a feeling John Berry probably should have given a bit more room there. He should have thought about his championship. Just given a little bit more room there, they probably would have got through the corner nice, safe and sound. So now he's got a damaged car, and he's limping towards the pits potentially. And he might be 2nd place in the championship in tatters here. So we'll see how it looks like he's struggling a little bit with the car. He might be crabbing just a little bit. Let's just go on board with him. And the steering wheel's still pointing straight. And he wasn't very fast in 6th gear. So he might be struggling a little bit in that BMW. He might magic wand of the fast repair on iRacing that instantaneously repairs your car, gets you back out on the track. Constantino remains here in 3rd place behind Mark Sykes. Wesley Lewin behind in 4th place now. Wesley Lewin won at Bathurst, the last endurance round of the championship. He's looking like he's hungry for the podium place here. A long way clear at the front of the field, 6.5 seconds still. Stephen de Gravelia leading the bronze category. He hasn't attended many rounds this season as Stephen, and he's struggled a bit as well when he has attended, but this is looking very good so far. Cheverton is into the lead of this race, and let's just see if we can see a replay of that where he passes Phil McDougall for that spot. We were watching the shenanigans in the bronze category when this happened. There we go, he passes him on the straight and through he goes. Lead of the race for Cheverton, and as it stands with Kruger in 7th place, like I mentioned just a few moments ago, as it stands, Matthew Cheverton will most likely here win the championship in silver category unless Kruger really can respond. Yolate and Mark Baker side by side. This is for third place. Latte stays in front. Looking like a good battle between these two at the moment. And it continues on. Has continued for many, many laps so far. Let's go back to this battle in gold category. Still close between Gaz Williams, Harry Langford and Jamie Dory. Back there we've also got Ben Bennyworth, Mike Barber and Stephan Wessels as Jamie Dory pokes out of the slipstream but doesn't get it to the inside of Ben Bennyworth. Ben McCluskey is not too far behind this battle as well, but on a track like this it is so difficult on these long straights to gain on your opponents in front, particularly when they've got a big trail of slipstream right ahead of them like what Stephan Wessels has. There's 5 cars ahead of him towing him down the straights here, and he's able to save a lot of fuel from that as well. But Ben McCluskey able to extend his stint by a lap. It hasn't advantaged him too much, but it might pay dividends to him later on in the race, because if he could save another lap of fuel, or even more than his opponents, that means he puts in even less fuel in the car, and even less fuel in the car here is a big deal. So it might save him a lot of time for his second stop. We'll have to see, we'll have to find out, and that's quite a way away. 16-second lead, 17-second lead almost for Corey Price. And he could well be on his way to being a double endurance winner in the gold category this season. Looking very convincing at the moment. Our championship leader slash winner trying to get points for his team at the moment, I imagine. But Adam Wilson-Weir up in 5th place in the bronze category. Now, the way the team's championship works is the points you score for your category, or for yourself in your category, contribute to your team's points. So, realistically, the best thing you can do for your team is have 3 drivers in your team, 1 in each category, and all 3 of you win the race. But the other thing is, only 2 drivers' scores count per race or round, one or the other. But realistically, it's good to have a driver in each category. And the thing is, with Mission R powered by Mords, who are 2nd place, they led a lot of the championship, but they are 2nd in championship. We've got Adam Wilson-Weir, who is pretty much a table topper here at in the bronze category, but they've also got George Stone in the silver category. Whereas CSA Team Wozer have got a driver in the silver category leading the championship in Jeffrey Kruger, and they have Stephan Wessels 2nd place in the gold category. So it's a little bit tricky to work out at the moment which team's doing best right now. I would say CSA Team Wozer have still got themselves one hand on the trophy. Jesse Payne-Wilkins. Oh, and look at this big battle here between Matthew Addy. Let's just go back to that. Matthew Addy and Mark Baker just ahead, but in the gold category, side by side here between Langford and Gaz Williams. And also back there is Jamie Dory and Mike Barber side by side. And Gaz Williams has to tuck back into the slipstream behind the Porsche driver. But Jamie Dory is still alongside Mike Barber as we head down the straight here. Gaz Williams pokes out from the slipstream. But no, he can't make it work. Whereas Jamie Dory, he hasn't made it work either against Mike Barber. It is still the Quatermass drivers in the advantage positions at the moment. But Gaz Williams, he's going to try and go for 4th in the championship tonight, as we mentioned. But he's a bit helpless at the moment compared to his rival. Jack Pettas is a long way up the road. Relatively untouched at the moment. Near 9 seconds clear. Oh, hang on, we've had an incident in the bronze category. That's Papa Constantino facing the wrong way, and Wesley Lewin recovering himself. As Papa Constantino heads towards turn number 1, that's Wesley Lewin behind. Oh, Papa Constantino takes a spin, and he spins right in front of Wesley Lewin, who stops it just in time. But it loses Wesley Lewin a lot of time, and Papa Constantino a lot of positions as well. Down to 7th place he goes. Now that'll be music to the ears of Jonathan Berry, who is a long way down the order, 13th at the moment actually. But it helps him in trying to get himself back up the order and give himself more of a chance of that bronze category win. Just looking at the track map there, the bronze category drivers are not too far away actually from the silver category. They're just a little bit up the road. So bronze category drivers doing very well to contend here. And as we mentioned that, Adam Wilson-Weir goes into 3rd place in the race. He's done so well this season that it's actually going to be exciting next season seeing him potentially in the silver category. Typically, drivers will promote up a category when they win their championships. We might see that from Adam Wilson-Weir going up into the silver category. Now, pull your attention to Jeffrey Kruger here, who 2 seasons ago, season 5 of this championship, my first championship commentating here, he won the bronze category championship, dominated it in fact, and then straight into silver category for what was last season, season 6, straight on it. And he could have been, without bad luck, a championship contender. He's been a championship leader for the majority of this season and is contender for this final round. So far it's not going very well for him, but he has got the positions he needs in his sights. Now with Cheverton leading, Kruger needs to get himself into 4th position. 4th position in category is just 1.4 seconds up the road, as you can see there from the battle box. He's got Mark Baker and the backmarker Ben Altria in gold category in his way, but if he can get into that 4th place spot, that's what he needs, and it is in sight for Jeffrey Kruger, and it wasn't looking so good for him not too long ago. Exciting stuff here. Now, while we were looking away there, Ben McCluskey has got his way past Stephan Wessels. And this might have something to do with it, and this will put the championship all the more in the favour of McCluskey. Now, this is Wessels in between 2 Quatermass drivers. It's Ben Benworth behind and potentially Mike Barber behind. Stephan Wessels goes off the track there. Does he get a slow down penalty? Now at some point Ben McCluskey is going to pass him. Might be a little bit later on actually. Right, let's skip forward to it then. Well, there we go. Stephan Wessels has pulled over to the side of the track there. It might have been a slow down penalty in actual fact. So there we go. Here we go, the 2 championship rivals. It's now 3 wide. Pennyworth's on the inside and then in the middle of them is Wessels. He's back in front of McCluskey. But McCluskey won't mind that too much. He just knows he needs to finish within 5 positions of him and he wins the championship. So he wasn't going to be too bothered by that. That's the cool, calm, collected McCluskey that we know. Wessels just has to fight back. He's got no choice but to fight back and get himself back up to this battle further up here, which is still nose to tail between them. Langford heading them, Gaz Williams in 2nd, Mike Barber 3rd of them, and Jamie Dory at the back. Wesley Lewin has had an incident here. And this is heading out of one section of the track and he just goes straight into the wall there. It just gives way to him on the way out of the corner, and that's going to be big damage to his car that he's going to have to repair in pit lane. Still leading this race is Stephen de Gravelia, but at this point I would say he's being caught little by Mark Sykes. He's here in 2nd place. He's now within 5 seconds of Stephen de Gravelia. Now Mark Sykes hasn't won a race yet this season in bronze category. And he's under a little bit of pressure potentially for the remainder of the race from Adam Wilson-Weir here in 3rd position. So it could be an interesting fight for this top 3 in the silver category. As I think, yeah, we saw Paul Manners passes Ian Manners. On a bit wide there goes Paul Williams. Kicks up a load of dust onto the track, and Ian Manners is going to fight back. This is the battle for 9th place in silvers. Down the main straight here, Ian Manners probably isn't close enough to go for a move. And at the front of the gold category now, 20 seconds clear. He's lapping 2 seconds a lap quicker than the other drivers in gold category, which is extraordinary. But Corey Price leads this race, just over a second quicker on that last lap actually than Jack Pittas. He's 20 seconds clear. It's incredible driving from the Dutch driver tonight. Gold category battle still. Just caught up to the tail of it is Wessels, and McCluskey just tagging on there as well, and Ben Bennyworth. So there's quite a long trail of cars from 3rd back to 9th place at the moment. Silver category, Matthew Cheverton still at the front of the category, just ahead of Phil McDougall, you can see here. Backing off the throttle a little bit there. Now that's either an attempt to save fuel or it was a slow down penalty. I don't think he backed off enough to serve a slow down penalty. So it could be that he's trying to save fuel. And there will be a couple of drivers trying that tonight, just to make sure that they pass over the threshold of being able to take their cars to the end on a 2-stop. I do seem to remember from Season 5, actually, there are a lot of pit stops served in the final 5 minutes of the race. So could we see the same again tonight? This is the battle for 3rd. Ulate at the front of them with Addy in 4th. Behind them is Ben Outre. He's a back marker. But he's trying to get a race out of tonight, and he's getting his elbows out with Matthew Addy and Ulate at the moment. Simon Hunt is in the pits right now. We've had nothing in our ears about any penalties being served, so this could well be another scheduled pit stop for Simon Hunt and Elwyn Sykes, the Season 6 bronze category champion, to let go of that trophy tonight. Stephan Wessels in gold category is making his way past, has made his way past Jamie Dory. Here we go, Wessels is really powering it down now, trying to make some places and gap himself from Ben McCluskey. It'd be if Wessels can get to the front of this pack, he'll have to. McCluskey will have to start worrying. Once into 3rd place, Wessels can't really do much more than that because there's a big gap to Pittas and a huge gap then to Corey Price. You can see on the track map just how far away Corey Price actually is from this pack. Into Indianapolis. Like I said earlier, it's a very fun section of corners. Very satisfying when you get it right. So let's see how quickly Wessels will try and move through here.
Stop and hold penalty, car 12 for failing to serve a slowdown.
Number 12, that is Alejandro Ulate. We've got the stint length available for us on the lower right there. Normally it doesn't work, but it does on our new overlay tonight. But as we can see with McCluskey, he managed to hold on for an extra lap, and we're getting towards the part of the section here where drivers have done nearly the same amount of laps their previous stint. But I do believe they can fill their cars up more than what they start the race with. So saving fuel is going to be key. If you can get yourself an extra lap or even 2 laps as we predicted with McCluskey here, that's going to be hugely helpful for what might be the second and last stop for some of these drivers. It depends how quickly that second stop rolls around. But because it is a track where you've got your right foot down for a very large majority of the lap, actually, it just burns all the more fuel. So sitting behind another driver, very, very helpful. Of course, Indy 500 was last weekend, and we heard a lot about that, about sticking behind another driver and saving fuel, easing off the throttle early. That's what they'll be doing on tracks such as this. And with it not being a 24-hour race, with it being a 2-hour race, there's not as many pit stops. And therefore, you've got to get your fuel saving done straight away if you wish to do so. Of course, the real life Le Mans is rolling around very, very soon. It's going to be very exciting to watch, particularly with the regular wet field, such as the Inform Alpines. Look forward to watching them. Let's see how they do in Le Mans this time around. But with us in this championship, this is the 10th round over and done with after tonight, and Season 8 is in the works. There's a poll put out for certain tracks that drivers might want into next season's calendar. I put my votes in, you know, not Lime Rock Park, not Summit Points. Definitely wouldn't. But yeah, I put my vote in as well for some tracks that could appear for next season. Looking forward to seeing the announcements there. And of course, if you click the link in our description, that will take you to Discord, to Next Gen Racing's Discord. You meet the drivers and the admins, and you get involved and get a first sight at all the news here at Next Gen Racing for all leagues. They host on iRacing and other sims. Now, Stephan Wessels moves through into 5th place. Mulsanne straight. Oh, a big spin there from Mike Barber, that is. And that just gave way to him on the apex of the corner there. He might have put his right foot down a bit too quickly. Let's just get another snapshot of that just to see exactly what happened. Into the corner we go. No, he hit the rear of Wessels. And when you do that on such low downforce setups, such as these, it just swaps around the car, and that drops him down to 9th position and puts him out of that battle that was looking so great for such a long time. Now Wessels moves into 5th place and Ben McCluskey into 7th place, and he's behind a teammate as well, which could be helpful for McCluskey. Stephan Wessels moves up more places. He's running out of places to gain that will put him far enough clear of Ben McCluskey. Plenty of time in this race for something to happen. Anything could happen, such as full course caution. Anything like that could throw a spanner in the works. Of course, we had full course cautions, 2 of them last time out at Mosport, and that really did put a cat amongst the pigeons, with some of the drivers having to head into the pits during the full course caution, and some of them opting not to. And as we found out, it was definitely the right thing to do, because you lose a lot less time in the pits as you do with the green flag running. And anything like that on a track like this can be hugely beneficial, as it was last week on the shortest track of the season of Mosport. But it takes something quite major for that to happen. Full course caution will be thrown in this series. Checking in on other categories here. Let's go to the silver category. Cheverton is the leader of that by 2.2 seconds. He's clearing away from McDougall at the moment. But in 4th place here is Jeffrey Kruger, and he has literally just got past him. And this is how he did it. Makes his way past on the straights, and as we head into the chicane, he'll complete that move. Heading down into the corner, yeah, easing off the throttle was Ulate, and through into 4th place he goes. Now, as things stand, the way things are right now, Jeffrey Kruger will still win the championship, but by the narrowest of margins. Now, into the pits go a couple of drivers. Phil McDougall's into the pits, Ben Alcher is as well, and Matthew Addy. So, is it rolling around that drivers need to stop, and could this actually be a 3-stop race? That's what I'm wondering. But a couple of drivers rolling the dice already. Now that does put Kruger up at the 2nd place, but I wouldn't say that's net 2nd place just yet. So we'll have to find out. as the laps tick by, what drivers are going to stick it out. It's looking very cloudy around there, Le Mans, right now. I'm just noticing. Very cloudy surrounding the track. I don't know if there's impending weather, as I, written off earlier. If that's a commentator's curse, if it does roll around. If that isn't a commentator's curse, I don't know what is. There's a couple of bronze category drivers pitting as well. Rob Savage is pitting, but a couple of drivers have carried on. Maybe I'm hearing in my ears there's no rain on the forecast, which it'd be a relief to some of the drivers to hear that. Wouldn't it just be great though if halfway around a lap it starts raining for these drivers? That'd be incredible. We turned our attention here to Corey Price, as he's just set the fastest lap of the race. Now, he's just set a 3 minutes 55 lap time, and he's not only the only one that's set a 3 minutes 55 lap time, he's actually the only one in the field that's got below 3 minutes 57. I don't know what Corey Price has done to his car, and he can't have done anything. It's a fixed set of series, but he's driving incredibly tonight. 26-second lead, banging in the lap times, having fun out there, clearly. Incredible driving. That's Matthew Cheverton on the back of Jesse Payne-Wilkins. That'll be for overall position, but it will do nothing to their category positions. And of course, Jesse Payne-Wilkins had a penalty earlier on, which would have put him back far in the order. Checking back in on bronze category. The gap is coming down between Stephen de Grevelier and Mark Sykes in second place in bronze category. Coming down very slowly, but it is coming down. The last lap was a gap of nearly a second between Stephen de Grevelier and Mark Sykes. I believe Mark Sykes has the fastest lap of the race in the bronze category. Let's just check that. No, he doesn't. It is someone else in the bronze category. I believe it's Simon Hunt, actually, who holds fastest lap of the race. So he'll still get the 2 bonus points if he indeed finishes the race. Adam Wilson here, not too far behind either. 5 seconds between him and top spot. As I mentioned earlier on, if he can get the win here, it not only will be his second endurance race win of the season, but it'll be his 9th individual race win of the season. The 16 that there are this season, that's quite some number. That's a gold category. McCluskey's still right on the back of Jamie Dory here. And Stephan Wessels not too far behind Gaz Williams. Let's just jump on board with Stephan Wessels. We head down the Mulsanne straight here. Let's just get an idea of how fast these cars are going down this main straight. 167, 68, 69 miles per hour. Into the 170s now. Still going up. And eventually will start braking. Whoa, very late on the brakes there. He got up to as much as 175 miles per hour. Did Stephan Wessels down the Mulsanne straight here. Could even be higher here. Oh, hang on a minute. We have to go back to bronze category. I've seen that there's been an incident for Adam Wilson-Weir. Now he's dropped back a little bit, as we see, as Yolate and George Stearns report they're in the pits, taking their second stop. Oh, big shake of the rear end there, and really Wilson-Weir's done the right thing there of letting the car spin around. He had a lot of runoff there to be able to spin the car around, and not many cars around him, but it has lost him a lot of time from Mark Sykes and Stephen de Grevelier. But the rear end just completely letting go on him there. And that's the thing, with a track like Le Mans, you have the least downforce you can have, the better. On a track like this, the more top-end speed you can get, the better, and less drag means you can save more fuel. the better thing to do. But of course, this is a fixed setup series, so naturally these cars are set up with low downforce, and they're very tricky to handle at the best of times. Okay, so a couple of drivers that have had their second stops. Phil McDougall, Matthew Addy, George Stone, Alejandro Ulate as well. So mostly the silver category drivers rolling the dice with an earlier stop. Well, remain to be seen if that's beneficial for them. Bronze category here. Stephen de Grellier doing a very, very good job here. Now, he helped a little bit with starting further up in the pack, but still, he's putting in very, very good lap times and holding this lead at the moment. Mark Sykes, the imposing threat. So it could be, if it's either of these two drivers that tie it up, the win that is, could be a new winner in the bronze category tonight. Could be. Matthew Cheverton might well be a repeat winner in the silver category tonight as he goes for the championship. It is looking a little bit slim, his chances at the moment, with Kruger doing quite well in the race at the moment, but nevertheless, Cheverton hasn't won an endurance round yet this season. This could be his first. In the gold category, Corey Price has won an endurance round this season. Now, Corey Price hasn't attended every round this season. He didn't attend Watkins Glen, Zandvoort, Algarve. I can't remember if he attended Mosport last week or not. Let me just double check that. He didn't. But of the rounds he has attended, round 3 of the championship at Montreal Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, he did win that round. So quite high up in the field, but he was very quick in that round, and it's showing here as well. You know, if Corey Price had attended more rounds, who knows? Who knows? But driving very, very well tonight is Corey Price. Jack Pittas also having a good drive as well, and you can see how far clear he is of his team, his rivals from third downwards. They've just gone through the chicane in the background there. Jack Pittas a long way clear in second place right now. Hasn't won a race yet, this season, but he's been Mr. Consistent this season, been in that 4th and 5th spot in the championship through the majority of the season. Has fallen to 6th for this round, but as things stand, he will jump up into back up into 4th in the championship. But he's been super consistent this season with some good scoring rounds. And it's rewarding him with a good championship position. Consistency is key. So I definitely think, looking at this silver category with Kruger carrying on and Cheverton carrying on, now, like I said earlier, drivers are mostly able to fill up their cars a little bit more than what they start with. I do wonder if Phil McDougall, Matthew Addy, George Stone and Alejandro Ulate, if they've decided to just go for an earlier stop just to try something different. They did pick extraordinarily early. That's the only other thing I'm wondering. So it'll become all the more clear as time goes by. Langford here in 3rd place, and just behind is Gaz Williams. Michael Evangeli is in the pits. He's another driver pitting now. He's quite far down the field and has had a few issues in this race. Keep an eye here on Wessels, trying to hunt down 4th and 3rd place. Getting those positions would be helpful for him, But I suppose with Ben McCluskey running behind two next-gen drivers, surely, a bit of home field advantage for them, but surely with the drivers working together there for their team, potentially they won't make it too difficult for McCluskey. Nowhere near as much as they'll make it difficult for Wessels here of CSA. He's looking all over the rear of Gaz Williams. Oh, as he rolls the dice, he's heading towards the pits. So, and Corey Price is in the pits, and Jack Pittas. So I think it is rolling around to second pit stop of the night. And I believe I'm going to be stood corrected here. I do believe this is a 3-stop race, actually. They've gone a little bit longer, as you can see there, but the amount longer makes sense. So I do think this will end up being a 3-stop race. There'll be another stop later on. Normally there's 2 stops in these endurance rounds. But like I said, Le Mans uses more fuel. Corey Price is back out on the track. Not many drives around him, not many threatening. He just keep banging in the laps out on his own here. So Wessels in the pits. Cheverton is in the pits. He's just peering around the chicane there. Race leader currently in the silver category. Kruger is in the pits as well. I imagine Kruger will do whatever Cheverton does at this point. But they're up against Phil McDougall as well. He's heading around the Porsche Curves now. Heading towards the end of this lap, which will be when we see him meet back up, potentially, with Cheverton and Kruger. So it's going to be interesting to see here if Cheverton gets himself in front of Phil McDougall. There we go, he's getting his wheel already pointed to the left, ready to exit the pits. And as we look back to Phil McDougall, he's going through the chicanes right now. Cheverton is heading out of the pits now. And now Kruger is leaving the pits. Now Phil McDougall's going to pass by. He's going to definitely pass Kruger. Does he pass Cheverton? No, he doesn't. Phil McDougall is back in front. So there we go. An undercut there for McDougall has worked, but is it going to work out for him later on in this race? We'll have to see. Now Kruger is back out. He's right behind Mark Baker, but as he gets an immediate undercut out of the chicane, he's going to be back in front. He is. He's completed that move. And that's going to see him in net 3rd place. Ian Manners is yet to pit again. Matthew Addy and George Stone right at the back of this pack as well. They're looking to get involved as well. George Stone, he'll definitely be keen to try and get up towards Kruger and try and fight with him. Because if Stone can get in front of Kruger, that helps his team in the championship. Look at this. Side by side between Addy and Mark Baker. Through goes Matthew Addy. 5th place is his. Oh, as Ben Altria goes off the track there. And Ben Altria is just getting involved in this battle. He is a back marker. But he is entitled to get involved in this battle as long as he doesn't disrupt things too much. It's very cloudy here at Le Mans. They're getting a bit dark as well. Late braking for Matthew Addy, and the car sideways on braking heading into the apex there. Kruger is gapping a little bit. This is his time to try and pull away, as we're seeing the gold category drivers now heading into the pits, and as predicted, McCluskey continues on. He saved an additional lap of fuel, and that will be beneficial later in the race. But this is Langford in the pits, Williams, Dory, Bennyworth. Corey Price sending around the final corner now. He'll retake the lead, and that's how far clear in the lead he was. And that within the other drivers getting in the pits, he's heading back past them. In the bronze category, however, John Berry leads this race, but that's not net race leader. He will need to take his second scheduled stop soon enough. But Stephen de Gravelia is still the net leader of the bronze category, just over 4 seconds clear of Mark Sykes. But Adam Wilson-Weir not too far behind, a few seconds back. But he's got a lot of time to make up to try and contend for first spot in the bronze category. Championship elect Ben McCluskey. So far so good for him. So far he's doing just enough to claim the championship, and admittedly it's a round that is quite difficult to gain places, get the advantage on drivers through just corner speed. It's not one of those tracks where that comes into play, but he's doing it all he needs to do, and that's what he's done for the last 2 seasons. Last season was a bit easier for him in the sense that he won the championship 1 round early. He won it in the sprint race of round 9, I seem to remember. So an additional 2 races remaining, he won it. This season he's been kept very honest at the start of the season, particularly by Lucas Seidel, and from the midpoint onward from Stephan Wessels. But at this point, McCluskey has definitely done enough to secure that championship, if he can keep this going. Things not looking so good for Matthew Cheverton. First place, he's driven a great race. He's got back in front of Phil McDougall. Here's how. And this is on the start-finish. And through he goes in turn 1. He's got himself back into the top spot and has driven a great race. These last 2 rounds in particular for Cheverton have been very, very good. And of course, last week he got the double in the feature and the sprint race at Mossport on Thursday, and on the Tuesday he got the triple, winning all 3 races in the blue lobby in top category in the NXTCC. So it was a very good week for him last week. He was in fine form, and he still is this week, with holding the lead right now in this race. Kruger, as things stand, has done enough. But equally, as much as he's got himself into 3rd place and got himself into championship winning territory, he can equally lose it as quickly, because not too far behind are other drivers in category who all have something to fight for in this race. Matthew Addy is trying to defend 3rd in the championship, and George Stone is trying to help his team out as much in this championship. Switch back to Ben McCluskey here, as he will be heading towards pit lane. Yes, he does. So he did save an additional lap again on his rivals, or that lap he gained on the prior stint was carried over to this one. And he'll pit now. So we'll see if where he heads out relative to Wessels and Langford on our timing screen on the left there. That's what you've got to keep an eye on. Wessels is here. Not too far behind Jack Pittas. So Pittas hasn't had a very good round of stops there. He's now under some pressure from Stephan Wessels. And Wessels is a long way clear of Langford. So I just wonder if Wessels has actually taken on a bit less fuel. And he's trying to do this to unsettle a couple of other drivers, get himself further up the pack, and risk taking a longer pit stop for the 3rd stop. I wonder if that's what he's trying to do here. But he's much closer to Jack Pittas. Here's McCluskey still in his box. Still waiting, and Wessels will inevitably pass by. And I reckon that is down to Wessels taking on a bit less fuel in that last stop. So McCluskey rejoins. He's behind Dory in front of his teammate Gaz Williams. And Gaz Williams going for fourth in the championship tonight. But so far it's not gone to plan with Jack Pittas well at the roads. Pittas up here in second place, and now he's under a bit of trouble from Stephan Wessels, who takes the outside as we head down the Mulsanne straight. We'll head towards the first chicane. Can Wessels complete the move here? This would be for second place. Later on the brakes is Wessels, and through he goes. Now Jack Pittas might know deep down that he might get Wessels back, but I think Wessels has done this to get clear of the pack behind. I think that is what he's done. He's trying to do this to get himself some clean laps. But he has divvied up a little bit in this gold category. Langford is on his own a little bit here, and Jamie Dory has fallen back. The next gen drivers, the trio here of Dory, McCluskey and Williams, will pretty much work together from this point. Or will they? That remains to be seen. But interesting tactics coming to play here at Le Mans for the final round of the championship. Meanwhile, in the silver category, Cheverton still leads. Got a little bit of slipstream from Sean Shute in the gold category to help him out there. And Phil McDougall still not too far behind. A further 11 seconds behind is Jeffrey Kruger. He's on his own there as George Stone is trying to make his way up into fourth place. That'll be helpful for Mission R. Inside for the next corner, Baker is trying to fight back. The beauty of these chicanes is you're able to fight back. But still side by side between Stone and Baker heading out of the corner. So close between them. They're getting a little bit close to the side of each other. All they do again there. Who's going to be latest at the breakers heading into the chicane? That's going to be the more important one. Oh, Baker wasn't late enough on the brakes as Stone was able to get it to the apex quick enough to guard the position. Now look who's come back into this battle here. It's Alan McCain here. I don't know what his pit strategy is looking like at the moment. In fact, let's just have a quick look. See when Alan McCain pitted, and it's not actually showing us the silver category there. But yeah, it's looking pretty good for Alan McCain at this point. Yeah, Alan McCain is on a similar strategy to the other drivers around him. Matthew Addy is the one who pitted much earlier of these, so he's on a bit of an alternate strategy. He'll have to come in earlier and he'll have to get the tank more filled up. Head into Arnage corner. McCain in the fight here. It's good to see. We haven't seen him for much of the race, and he's now in this battle behind Mark Baker. We'll check back in with this soon. Bronze category still holding the lead is De Gravelia. Mark Sykes not too far behind here. He's away clear of Wilson-Weir at the moment. But Papa Constantino here, he's definitely in a relatively good position to try and get second in the championship. He needed to finish above Robert Savage by at least 2 places, which he has done at the moment. So as it stands, he finishes above Rob Savage by 1 point. But compared to Jonathan Berry, he needed an additional few places, which I think he has done at the moment. So I think as things stand, now, this is just going by my rough maths, I think Papa Constantino's in a place here where he can take second in the championship as it stands right now. That'd be extraordinary if he can leap up 2 places from 4th, 2 seconds. But plenty of the race left to go to find out what happens here. This is the battle for 4th place in the silver category. George Stone heading that battle at the moment, helping his team, Missionar powered by Maud, try and secure the team's championship. But it's looking pretty good for CSA Team Moser at the moment, piloted by Jeffrey Kruger, who's 3rd place in silver category, and Stephan Wessels, who's in 2nd place. I don't know where he'll end up after the next round of pit stops. That remains to be seen. But it's going to be interesting to see where he ends up. As back here we're seeing McCluskey alongside and got his nose in front of Jamie Dory. There we go. McCluskey's into 5th place. And that puts him back into championship win as it stands. Now he's got a clear track ahead of him now. He can really get in some clean laps. Clearly with Corey Price at the front, running away a little bit. Clearly being on your own is quite an advantage here. Which is strange to say. We'll see what laps McCluskey can get in. He has, in this race, got himself into the 56s, and other drivers in category, with the exception of Corey Price, have stayed in the 57s, so McCluskey's not short of any pace right now. But we'll see with laps on his own how much quicker he can go. Wessels on his last lap did a 57.4, which was approximately 4.5 tenths slower than Corey Price. And on that last lap, as you can see, a 56.7 from Corey Price. Super consistent from the race leader at the moment. We are quite of the way through. We're approaching the 3/4 mark in the next 9 minutes. And I believe we should be able to have the championship standings updated fairly quickly, actually. Which gives a good idea of who's won all 3 championships that are still in contention for tonight. As we mentioned there, the gold category contended between McCluskey and Wessels, but there's also 4th place to work out for them, and 3rd place technically still up for grabs in the gold category. And in the silver category, 1st and 2nd is fought out, as well as 3rd and 4th. And in the bronze category, there is a battle for 2nd raging on. But there's a couple of drivers out there who've got, as it stands, the job done, and there's a couple of drivers out there who still have work to do. They are running out of laps, they are running out of time. Still, there is time to correct their races. There's still one more stop to put things right. And that's what I think we've been seeing from Wessels here, taking an alternate strategy. You can see here, he's actually really gapping the drivers behind. Unless it generally was a very, very quick stop. I'm not too sure. We'll have to see. Take a look at the strategies yet again. Stephan Wessels still pitting at the same time, but again, his stop looked to be less. I think we can get a good idea of pit lane time that last time around. Yeah, you look at Stephan Wessels' pit lane time, it was considerably less than, well, McCluskey, for example, there, of 1 minute 12. Jamie Dory might have been going for a similar strategy to Wessels. But Wessels definitely in the box for a lot less time. And that means he's definitely taken on less fuel. So we'll see when he has to eventually head into the pits to pick up the rest of the fuel to get himself to the end of the race. And approximately when can we expect those stops? Well, give it a good more couple of laps. But we'll see how close they can get to the end of the race, actually, in this current stint of fuel. But with Wessels on a much shallower tank than the others, is putting in quick lap times, and he's gapped Jack Pittas really well, actually. And that last lap, Jack Pittas was a lot slower than everybody else in category, but Wessels there, not much quicker than fourth of Langford and McCluskey just behind, but a whole 3 seconds quicker than Jack Pittas on that last lap. So Pittas is struggling at the moment. He's now fallen into the clutches of his teammate Harry Langford just behind. And in doing so, that's going to put him in a little bit of danger from Gaz Williams here, who is trying to get up towards Jack Pittas. And he was looking a bit grim about half an hour to an hour ago. But Williams has got Pittas in his sights. And remember what I said at the start, whoever finishes in front, the trio of Williams, Pittas and Ben Altria will most likely take fourth in the championship. At the moment that's Pittas, but not too far away is Gaz Williams. Matthew Cheverton leading in silver category. Just behind here, as you can see, Phil McDougall still not too far behind. But Cheverton will just be keeping an eye on the relative, keeping an eye on the standings. He'll be just hoping that Kruger can fall down a few positions. So, as things stand, Kruger has the silver category championship in his hands. And he's quite a way clear now of George Stone and Mark Baker behind. Kruger, who only 2 seasons ago won the bronze category championship. So, who knows? Season 9, he might win the gold championship if that trend continues. But, being serious, he's been a driver that's rapidly improved over the last 2 seasons. And this will be the reward for that, if you can get this done tonight. Just checking back in on the bronze category, it is getting close, real close, between Gravelia and Sykes behind. Sykes is definitely the quicker of the two. Him setting his personal best on that last lap, getting into a 3:59.17, which I believe, and it is not, it's just about not the fastest time in bronze category. Stein Vatens in 14th place has the quickest time in bronze category right now, and therefore, as it stands, takes the 2 bonus points. But also, don't forget, in bronze category back here, not too far behind 1 and 2, is Adam Wilson-Weir. Now, he's gunning for his 9th win of the season. He really isn't that far away from trying to collect that. And surrounded by 2 silver category drivers right now in Ian Manners and Alejandro Ulate, who themselves are battling for 9th in the silver category. Gabriel Papaconstantino is back in the pits. This will be his 3rd stop. But we just looked here as Alan McCain taking a position away from Matthew Addy. And this isn't looking good for Matthew Addy to try and hang on to 3rd in the championship. Just trying to do the maths quickly here. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, by the looks of it, as it stands, Matthew Addy will fall to 4th in the championship. The way things are right now, Phil McDougall will get 3rd in the championship right now as it stands, and right now he's driving a very good race. Now remember back to the last endurance round at Bathurst, he won that round in the silver category, and he did that with brilliant battling and brilliant pace up against Matthew Cheverton and Jeffrey Kruger, winning that round. And tonight's endurance round, well, he's showing what he can do in these longer races. Completely different medium of racing, endurance racing, completely different. Sprint racing, endurance racing, completely different kettle of fish. I myself prefer endurance racing, and some drivers generally do. It might be that McDougall is one of them. And after the race, ladies and gentlemen, in just over half an hour time, we will have the championship standings hopefully revealed to us as soon as possible. As soon as it's possible to do so from our people working very hard behind the scenes here at NXTGEN Racing. also will be having some interviews. We'll be having interviews with the championship winners. We'll also be having interviews with the race winners. And our current race winners as it stand, well, the ones leading the races at the moment, Corey Price in the gold category, Matthew Cheverton in the silver category, and Stephan de Gravelia in the bronze category. McDougall just following Cheverton along here, and I think McDougall's got one eye on the standings, the positions where every driver is, and one eye on Cheverton in front, just trying to stay with him, just trying to keep him honest. And if Phil McDougall has to roll the dice and go for first place, if Matthew Addy moves further up, then he will have to do so. Just needs to finish 4 places clear of Matthew Addy, which he is at the moment. But if Matthew Addy moves past not just Alan McCain but Matt Baker, that's when McDougall will have to start worrying. So we're seeing Jesse Payne Wilkins, he's in the pits to take another stop for himself. Matthew Addy is back past Alan McCain, the two of them swapping places. Now, this is probably the closest battle of them on the track at the moment when it comes to championship finishing positions. Between Matthew Addy and Phil McDougall, that is. But yeah, Matthew Addy finishing 6th place for himself. We'll score him 25 points. He's been swapping places recently. But the way things are right now between them, it's still Phil McDougall who will move into 3rd in the championship. Matthew Addy really does need to move up more places. Moving back to the gold category with Stephan Wessels here, not gaining on Corey Price, and mind you, Corey Price, barring any big mistakes or any drama, has really got the win in his hands here in this race. Stephan Wessels is just trying to do different things to try and put off his rival McCluskey. He's back there in 5th place. And really, what we said at the start is if McCluskey can secure 5th position or higher, he has got this championship sewn up, and 1st place might well be out of bounds for Wessels. So McCluskey knows deep down he would have done the maths himself. He knows deep down that this is all he needs to do to get this done. Now, if we look at this, this is on board with Mark Sykes, 2nd place in bronze category, right behind Stephan de Gravelia. 2 fights for the lead in this race are on. McDougall versus Cheverton, and right here, Mark Sykes versus Stephan de Gravelia. Sykes has caught up to de Gravelia, and he's definitely the quicker of the two. The last lap by Mark Sykes was nearly a second quicker than Stephan de Gravelia, but catching one thing, passing is another, and then keeping it is another. But as we head down to the hairpin, de Gravelia moves across the track to guard the braking point from Mark Sykes. And as we've seen for the majority of the race, it's been very difficult for drivers to get overtakes done. But Mark Sykes moves out of the slipstream now. He's going to move alongside de Gravelia, and he's passed. I think he's passed already. Yes, he has. De Gravelia has to tuck back in behind, so Mark Sykes takes the lead of the bronze category. And either of those two drivers are going for their one and only win in the category this season. Oh, goes to Gravelia, was very late on the brakes there. He has to run a little bit wide, heading through Indianapolis 2. And he drops back a little bit from Mark Sykes. But back here, we've got Adam Wilson-Weir, who really isn't going to give up on trying to get another win this season. He himself will probably be preparing for silver category next season. And if he can get himself one last win in bronze category, he would do that for himself. Phil McDougall's in the pits, but Matthew Cheverton carries on. So there we go, the final load of pit stops are going to be rolling around. And I do wonder if there was drivers up there that probably thought they could get it to the end here. I'm not too sure if it is actually possible. Ben McCluskey probably has the best strategy of them all if he can save even more fuel. A couple of other drivers in the pits. Matthew Addy as well. Matthew Addy seeing third place fall out of his grasp at the moment to see what he can do for the remainder of the race. Phil McDougall head back out onto the track for his final batch of fuel. The final batch of tyres if he has taken on any fresh tyres. As we switch over here, crossing the line there is Adam Wilson-Weir with the fastest lap of the race in bronze category. He's into the 58 and he is... yeah, the times are rapidly coming down for the bronze category and actually all categories. There's a lot of 56s being set out there now. The tanks are getting a little bit empty for the drivers right now. They will be. But also the track's going to be getting a little bit cooler as well as it moves later on into the day. We're around about sunset at the moment. We might get a fairly dark track towards the end of this race. But the temperatures are cooling on the track. And the times will get quicker as the tanks get more and more empty. So, we've got Phil McDougall to keep an eye on in comparison to Matthew Cheverton. But Matthew Addy as well. We're keeping an eye on him to see where he goes compared to the likes of George Stone, Mark Baker and Alan McCain. Gold category. Quintet of cars in a row here. Headed by Pittas at the front of them, Langford second, McCluskey in the middle, Dory first from the back, and Gaz Williams at the back. Dory goes a little bit wide there, entering the Porsche Curves. And McCluskey getting close up to the rear of Langford. McCluskey knows he'll have an additional lap on these other drivers around him. And that's what McCluskey likes to do. He likes to go long on the stints. And into the pits goes Jack Pittas. Stephan Wessels is also in the pits. Now, we did say he took on less fuel, and this is the proof. He's in the pits already. And that's just 6 laps he's done on that stint. And his final stint here will see him to the rest of the race. Be interesting to see how many more laps McCluskey can go. Because McCluskey will need to take on less fuel when he gets into the box later on. That might be beneficial for him. But Stephan Wessels at the front has been putting in some blistering lap times. And as he leaves the pits now. Jack Pittas still in the pits. Wessels heads out on the track. He's seen pit lane for the last time tonight. And Jack Pittas is still in the box. Now, what has happened to Pittas here? He's losing a lot of time. Cheverton's in the pits now. Pittas heads back out on the track. I think he's lost a lot of time in the box there. Can't quite see the comparison of pit lengths. Pit lane time 1 minute 6 for Pittas, 56 seconds, so 10 seconds lost compared to Wessels for Pittas then. that might not help him in his battle against Gaz Williams. Oh, as we're seeing Harry Langford getting real close to the rear of McCluskey there. As McCluskey moves through into third place on the road right now. And that was McCluskey able to get it done out of the chicane and down the straight with a bit of help from Slipstream as well. Oh, let's look at this. Jamie Dory's now on the outside. Oh, and he's going to get by Langford here under braking potentially, but Langford fights back on the inside. Oh, and wide then goes McCluskey, and a big shunt up the rear there from Langford to get McCluskey moving again. Now they'll be losing time here from Wessels, squabbling with one another, but McCluskey seems insistent that he wants to be at the front here, but a big mistake heading out of Mulsanne corner there for McCluskey. That'll see him lose a little bit of time, and Gaz Williams at the back of this pack as well. There's a little bit of NASCAR bump drafting going on here with Langford right behind McCluskey. They're trying not to lose too much time to Wessels. But when will be crunch time for these drivers to get into the pits? Adam Wilson-Weir in third place. He's just 2.7 seconds behind the race leader, but he's only 1 second behind Stephan de Gravelli for second place. Stephan de Gravelli's got a little bit of slipstream to help him out here. Phil McDougall, who's had his third stop of the race, just ahead. Mark Sykes got his sights set on first place in this race. It'll be a first win in category this season for him. Back to the gold category. Let's see if any of them pit. Yes, Jamie Dory straight in the pits. He did pit earlier of this bunch earlier on as well. But he'll head into the pits. And be interesting to see where he comes out relative to Stephan Wessels, because that will pretty much tell the tale of where McCluskey, Langford and Gaz Williams will end up compared. Corey Price hasn't pitted yet either, leader of this race. But that 45-second gap to Ben McCluskey is net gap for Corey Price. We're seeing another driver in the pits there, just heading out. That's Michael Evangeli, I think. Yes, it is. So let's see how Jamie Dory gets on. Stephan Wessels passes by. So all that squabbling there really did lose some time as Jamie Dory's back out on the track. But Stephan Wessels is going to be some way clear here. And Jack Pittas is only just exiting the chicane where Jamie Dory is clear. And Ben Bennyworth is clear of him as well. So Jack Pittas in the pits might well have lost fourth in the championship. He had it. He had it in his hands until he went in the pits. But a longer stop might have been a mistake with calculating the fuel. Might have been one button not unclicked on his black box. Might have been anything like that that could have caused him to have a longer stop. And it's big trouble for him when it comes to fourth in the championship now. Gaz Williams in the advantage of that now. He's quite a bit of time back, but look at this. Langford and McCluskey working together here. Langford is just pushing McCluskey down all of the straights here. Now, they'll be looking at the relatives, they'll be looking at the standings, and they'll know that Wessels has got a big jump on Jamie Dory. It's a near 9-second gap between Wessels and Jamie Dory right now, and they'll know that that will be the gap for them. Now Langford knows that he can't go for much more than third place unless something major happens to Stephan Wessels, but he's trying to keep himself ahead of Gaz Williams, ahead of Jack Pittas, just to keep third place in his hands. 16 minutes left of this race. And we've still got silver category drivers to await into the pits. Kruger is one of them. Championship winner-elect. He might be less than 16 minutes away from being silver category champion. Alan McCain here, second place in silver category. Out of nowhere, he's come into this race in the silver category, fighting for or just shy of the third place battle. Matthew Cheverton here leading the silver category. He's quite a way clear of Phil McDougall now. So he's somewhat in the clear here for a race win, but it's not looking good for a championship win for him, unfortunately for him. Now into the pits is Corey Price, race leader of the gold category, being the star-like figure tonight. Real fast laps. And opened up that huge lead in the opening stint of the race. Let's keep an eye on McCluskey. If he can get this going, keep this going for an even extra lap, because he had on Langford and Williams, and all the gold category in fact, on the first stint. Let's see if he can do so here. He keeps going, so does Langford, so does Gaz Williams. It's quite cloudy above us, and it's getting quite dark now, thus why it's getting a little bit, well, dark on the screen if you guessed. No threat of rain from what I'm told. But these two drivers continue on. Mike Barber is in the pits. Langford all over the rear of McCluskey, trying to just push McCluskey along as much as he can. We've got the silver category to await next, and the bronze category eventually. Stephen de Gravelia in the bronze category has taken his stop. Mark Sykes and Adam Wilson-Weir are still out there. Wilson-Weir is nearly within a second of the race leader. It could be that Adam Wilson-Weir is still in with a chance of winning this race tonight. And what a way to celebrate winning the championship tonight. Having done so last week as well. But if he can celebrate with another endurance win tonight, he would do that. Now, Jeffrey Kruger is in the pits. Kruger, he hasn't really got much chance of winning the race tonight, but the championship will lie very much in these pit stops right here. If he can get himself back out in front of Ian Manners and Mark Baker, that's good news for Jeffrey Kruger. Alan McCain is in the pits as well. This is a big moment in the silver category. Here comes Matthew Cheverton. He'll retake the lead in the race. That's something for him at least. Past Kruger he goes. Kruger's heading out of the pits now. Cheverton passes by. Phil McDougall is heading towards the exit here, but Kruger might well be able to get out in front of McDougall. Oh, it's going to be close. It's going to be close. McDougall's going to try to the inside of Kruger. Kruger doesn't fight too much, but he's just behind second place here. Kruger rejoins in third. Alan McCain rejoins the track. He's in fourth place, just ahead of Ian Manners and Mark Baker. And Matthew Yaddy is down here in seventh place. Now, even if Phil McDougall drops to third, yes, it is still Phil McDougall who will finish third in the championship. Let's keep an eye on the gold category next. Now in the bronze category, they've pitted as well. Sykes still in front. Now he's actually opened up a gap to Adam Wilson-Weir here. Wilson-Weir must have been in the pit lane for a bit longer, and in fact, a long way clear in the pit lane as well. 5 seconds quicker in the pit lane was Mark Sykes to Adam Wilson-Weir. Now, Mark Sykes' times in the pits were comparable to other drivers up ahead, particularly the likes of Cheverton and Kruger. So Adam Wilson-Weir has been in the box a bit longer, and so has Stephen de Gravelia, so that didn't help him either. So Mark Sykes has been given a little bit of a breather here as we head into the final 11 minutes of this race. As we head into the final moments of this race, just a big opportunity here to say thank you to everyone who's watched this season. It's been a fantastic season. Great tracks on the calendar, and that should go out to the admins who put all the hard work into choosing the tracks every season, running the championship, organising the drives, organising the championship. The race directors who do this live as well, calling penalties, calling full course cautions. It's a big show they run here at NXTGEN Racing, as close to the real thing as you can get, and that's the beauty of sim racing. That is why NXTGEN is the home of sim racing. But a big thank you should go out to everyone watching and everyone taking part in this championship as well. What a season we've had. Now, Ben McCluskey has really extended this stint. Look at this. And Langford's doing well as well. Now, Langford's sitting right behind McCluskey here, who himself is, not road sweeping, that's rallying, fuel saving. He's pushing McCluskey down the straight, so McCluskey can just ease off the throttle and let Langford kind of push him along. But McCluskey has taken this. But realistically, he could take this to an 11-lap stint. Which means there's only a lap or two he'll need to finish this race. Langford will probably need to come in a lap earlier than McCluskey might. I just wonder if that's what McCluskey is trying to do here, trying to save enough fuel to get to the end of the race. That might be what he's trying to do here. I don't know if it's going to be possible, but we'll see. Ian Manners is in the pits again. I'm not sure if this is a scheduled stop here. Down a little bit more there. Yeah, Ian Manners. No, this is his. Yeah, this is going to be another stop for Ian Manners. It is scheduled. It'll drop him down a few places. There you go. That's how quick that stop was. He rejoins now. He'll be in 9th place. Here comes the leader of the bronze category. 3 seconds quicker on that last time around than Adam Wilson-Weir, who's got a lot of time to make up in not much time left in this race, not many laps left in this race. Now there has been a position swap here between Langford and McCluskey. There we go. That might have been a tactical swap for fuel saving purposes, maybe. And just to answer Cody Savage in the chat, no, Papa Constantino does not need to pit again. So Papa Constantino, just draw attention to this again, has, well, it's going to be close for bronze category 2nd place, actually. I'm going to see if I can quickly work it out on the side here. It's going to be super close between them. I'm going to have to keep an eye on certain things going on in this race at the same time. But heading out of this race, Papa Constantino scores 35 points as it stands, and Jonathan Berry will score 20 points. Robert Savage will score 15 points. So, by my calculations, I do think John Berry still hangs on to 2nd place in the championship. I do believe. We'll have to get the full confirmation of points once this race is completed. We might have to do some interviews before we find out. Yes, Langford pitted. There we go. And he's headed back out onto the track in front of Stephan Wessels. So holding on that little bit longer for Langford, for McCluskey. He's going to see him in front of Wessels here. That's a big moment in this race. There we go. Here is Langford leaving the pits. And there is Wessels behind. And it hasn't worked out for Wessels. Going for that alternate strategy, the gamble of pitting earlier to try and get some open air. It hasn't worked out in that he's had to take much more fuel in his third stop, and it's wasted a lot more time. Langford really only needed a splash and dash just then. But McCluskey here, let's see what happens here. If he can get around another lap, if he's saved enough fuel to get around an extra lap, can he get to the end of this race with only 2 stops? I don't... My immediate thought is no. Because it's going to be too risky in that the final lap of this race might exceed far beyond 2 hours. But here it is. McCluskey is still on his 3rd stint, whilst every other driver is on their 4th. I agree, Andy, in the comments of YouTube. I also think McCluskey will need a 1-lap dash, which is insane to think. But let's see how he gets on. It literally will be in the box for just a spray of the water gun, and then off he goes again. Just looking back to the silver category here, Phil McDougall real close to Jeffrey Kruger. And Kruger, as things stand, has the championship sewn up. And likewise with McCluskey. We'll have to see if McCluskey falls behind Wessels after his pit stop. But he's not going to fall behind enough to lose the championship. Unless something goes very wrong with McCluskey. At this point here, he'll be getting his pit stop ready. Not taking on any tyres. Just taking on a little bit of fuel as Wessels has moved past Langford here into 3rd place. He did that at Indianapolis. Here's just quickly how he got it done. We'll go back to McCluskey now. Oh, there we go. Big move to the inside there from Wessels, powering it through the apex of the corner. Through he goes. Now here comes McCluskey. Will this be the stop? Yes, it will. So it might be 2 laps he needs. Yes, 2 laps he'll need. As Corey Price has not seen the white flag yet. So, this is going to be interesting. Here's Wessels, exiting Porsche Curves now. Through karting corner, he's just gone. And McCluskey, not out of his box yet, but literally he's going to be here a few seconds. There's Wessels, heading through the final part of the final chicane. Next in the pit, that's already is McCluskey. Now he can floor it. Here comes Wessels. I think McCluskey's done enough. Incredible from the champion-elect in gold category. Benji McCluskey is in 2nd place now in this race with some brilliant strategic driving. And I'm actually a little bit gutted he couldn't get it going, keep it going for the whole race. But look how close we are to a 2-stop actually being possible, and it's ended up being quicker as well. Incredible. Now we're heading into the final moments of this race now. We've got our orders pretty much in order now. But at the top here in the gold category, Corey Price, he won in round 3 at Montreal, the first endurance round of the season, and he's on his way to winning again here tonight by 39 seconds. He's opened up the majority of that gap in the opening stint by just pure rapid laps. McCluskey in 2nd place with arguably the best strategic driving tonight. 2nd place. Stephan Wessels, who went with an alternate strategy, and it was quite admirable and brave to see, but it's third place for him at the moment, and it's looking like second place in the championship for him. Just behind in the championship as well from the aforementioned. It's going to be Langford here in fourth place. But he's still going to be fighting for third place in this race. Leading the category of silvers, it's Matthew Cheverton. A 15-second lead. He's had a really good final half an hour of this race. But at the moment, he's not going to win the championship the way things stand. Phil McDougall in second position. He's got a big opportunity for third in the championship. I don't know if he's going to secure it at the moment. I'm going to let Paul Williams, the guy who does our points here for this championship, going to let him do that once the race is over. But the championship is very much still on between himself and Matthew Addy for third place in silver category. But our champion-elect in silver category is going to be Jeffrey Kruger. He's done enough tonight. He sits third right now, which means he only loses 10 points. And if you include fastest laps in that, he actually loses 12 points. The gap between them heading into tonight was 20 points. Bronze category. It's going to be a debut win in category as far as this season is concerned for Mark Sykes, Mr. Next Gen himself. Leading this race still by 2.7 seconds from Adam Wilson-Weir, who has been rapid in the last hour of this race. Oh, hang on a minute, no! Ben McCluskey has disconnected! Oh, you are joking! He's left the server! He's gone! That's it! That's going to be championship over for him! The checker flag is waving! Final lap drama here! Corey Price heads around the final corner, he's going to win the gold category! I don't know what he's doing there. Race control, have a look. Stephan Wessels is going to come through in second place here. And a disconnection for Ben McCluskey. That's going to count as a DNF for Ben McCluskey. He's falling down the order, as you can see there. But Stephan Wessels on the final lap of this race is going to win the championship on the last lap. Through he comes, our champion of gold category, at least I believe so. Stephan Wessels wins. Harry Langford comes through in third place, and that will secure him third in the championship as well, I believe. I can't believe what we've just seen. I really can't. For once, I'm speechless. Okay, well, we'll find out what's actually gone on. The sim racing disconnection is the sim racing equivalent of your engine failing in real life racing. It can happen, it does happen, but it's cruel. It is absolutely cruel for Ben McCluskey. Silver category is about to be concluded here. Matthew Cheverton is going to head to the end of the lap here. He's going to win another endurance round. He's had a solid season. He's fought brilliantly all season, but it's not going to be just enough. He's done enough to win the race tonight. Another win for Cheverton. That's win number 6 of the season. And Phil McDougall is going to bring it home in second place here and maybe third in the championship. I'm not entirely sure. But behind him is going to be our champion of silver category, Jeffrey Kruger. Only 2 seasons ago, won the bronze category. 2 seasons later, he's silver category champion. Massive win for Jeffrey Kruger there in the championship. We divert our attention to bronze category, and it's going to be a fantastic breakthrough win for Mr. Next Gen himself, Mark Sykes, the man who runs it all. He's already celebrating down the straight there. He's done just enough to win this race with the incoming Adam Wilson-Weir behind. Mark Sykes wins the race in bronze category, and in second place he can now celebrate his championship. Adam Wilson-Weir is the bronze category champion and runner-up in this race. And third position in this race hasn't had the luck this season, hasn't had the performances this season, but a third place for Stephan de Grevelier of what I believe was a engine potentially out of fuel there. It was very quiet, but Stephan de Grevelier finishes third and gets onto that infamous Le Mans podium for his final race of the season. Right, we all need to have a calm down here as this is really, really gone pear-shaped. In the gold category, final lap. Ben McCluskey disconnects. Okay, right. So this is Ben McCluskey leaving the pits. Let's just keep an eye and just see when it happens. It's incredible that this has happened. It just reminds me of, you know, Abu Dhabi 2021, instance like that on the last lap. The Indy 500 where Dan Weldon won it on the final corner against J.R. Hildebrand, who put it in the wall on his final corner to win the Indy 500 potentially. But this is out of McCluskey's control. And at some point it happens on this lap. We'll stay with it just to see when it's happened. Discord's already blown up here. People talking about, oh, it's not actually funny. I'm laughing at the disbelief of this. I've never seen anything like this in sim racing. All my driving in sim racing, all my commentary, I've never seen anything like this. It's heartbreaking for McCluskey. At some point, on this lap it happens. Okay, we are going to get interviews with the race winners. He's got quite far around the lap. This is Mulsanne. There it is. Just happens in a blink. No warning of it either. It just happens. Yeah, Damon Hill at Hungary in 1997 comes to mind as well. That's a good shout, Mark, yes. Oh. I'm sure there's others, but I'm just speechless right now. Okay, so we are going to get interviews with our race winners first of all. And whilst we wait for the championship tables to be updated, in fact, I think they have actually already been updated. So I tell you what, while we are waiting for the interviews to get themselves ready, I'm sure people are calming down a little bit, going for a quick wee before. Okay, they've been in the sim rig for at least 2 hours. But let's take a look at our championship standings. So without further ado, these are still provisional. There could be post-race penalties, but in the gold category, well, Ben McCluskey's been classed as a finisher here. And with that being the case, and I think even without that, I think it still is. Okay. I'm not sure how that's worked out. Alright, okay. But by the looks of it, Ben McCluskey has still won the championship here. We're going to have to get some clarification on this, as he's classed as a finisher, which technically he wasn't. But he scores top spot there at the moment, with Stephan Wessels in second position. By my calculations, Yeah. I'm not too sure what's happened here. By my calculations, this isn't correct. We're going to have to go back to this one. But at the moment, we have got Ben McCluskey in the first place. It's very confusing at the moment. I've not really dealt with this before in the past, to be honest, ladies and gentlemen. Let's just have another refresh here, see if anything has changed. Okay, right, we're going to move on from that. We'll come back to that very shortly. But in the silver category, we can definitely confirm that Jeffrey Kruger is the silver category champion. He wins it by 10 points from Matthew Cheverton. And in third place is Phil McDougall. He takes that third spot from Matthew Addy, who loses out to that third spot by 5 points. And as we mentioned, with bronze categories already sewn up tonight. But look how close it was between second, third and fourth in the end. But Adam Wilson-Weir wins at the top. It's Robert Savage in second place, tied on points with Gabriele Papaconstantino, and dropping to fourth place by just 1 point is Jonathan Berry. Winner of that race, Mark Sykes, he's rewarded with fifth place. And in the teams category, it is CSA Team Woza, consisting of Stephan, Wessels and Jeffrey Kruger, who do take the championship in the teams. Okay, we're going to come back to this very shortly, because I am fairly sure we haven't got gold correct yet. But we're going to get some answers on the gold category very shortly. I'm not entirely sure how it's going to end up working. But we are going to go back to the start of this race on the replay here, and we're going to chat to our race winners of this race. So first of all, we are going to talk to Corey Price. Corey Price is going to join us in the comms booth right now. Corey Price, welcome back to the comms booth. The last time we spoke to you was at Montreal, all them months ago, and we chat to you again tonight as another endurance race win, but this one surely definitely is a lot more emphatic, actually. A brilliant gap there you opened up at the start of the race there. First of all, Corey, just kind of talk us through the first part of that race where your gap was just opening up. What was it that was hooking up to make it so good for yourself?
I've had the same issues with past endurance races around Le Mans. I don't think fuel saving is the best way around this track. I think fully pushing is the way to go. As you can see, the pace and the gap I've had. Also, I think, especially with the biggest track, one of the biggest tracks in this game, fuel saving isn't the way to go, in my opinion. So I thought to myself, why not fully push? Because I've had similar situations to like Ben and all them people who fuel saved, and they had to box in the last lap. And I think I wouldn't say it's sad. It's just not. It's not. I don't know. It's a bit hard, really.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, what you're saying is you've just gone hell for leather, really, at the start of the race, but others might have backed off and just took their time a little bit. But you know what? Gambles sometimes pay off. What was the difference between this race and Montreal? Obviously, both you've done very well in, but one, has much more corners and much shorter straights, but the other one here, Le Mans today, much longer straights. What's been the biggest difference here that's caused so much difference in strategy, do you reckon?
The car, obviously the car. The Porsche is not the best around Le Mans. So I thought, what's the best straight line speed car? And I'll pick the BMW. And it worked pretty well, to be fair.
Absolutely did, yeah. It's probably been the one race of the season where the BMW has really gone well. So let's just say, in a scenario where we've got GT3s next season, and you're going to be taking part next season. Let's just say in a scenario like that, what would be your go-to car for next season, considering tonight and considering the rest of the season?
Depends what the season's like, what tracks there are, and all the endurance races. If it's more of like Le Mans type, I'll probably pick the BMW.
Right.
But if it's more technical, like, you know, your short corners, your tight corners, I'll probably pick the Porsche again. But like I said, it's really to do with the next season.
Absolutely. Now let's just bring our attention to the rest of the season for yourself. You picked up a winner in endurance and another winner in endurance, but the sprints and feature races, with the ones you have done, didn't quite go to plan this season. What is it about endurance races with you?
Well, most of the races I can't really do because I don't have the time to do it. But when I do have time, I do the races, and fortunately enough, I did do both endurance races out of the 3 and won both of them, which I'm quite happy about. But hopefully next season I'll be more consistent throughout the races, and obviously do more races and see where I finish next season.
That'd be great. You clearly got the pace for it as well, so that would be excellent. Normally I ask people what about the next track, but there is no one next time around. But now's your opportunity, Corey, to anybody that might be watching the live stream. Please give a shout out to anyone who might be watching. Anybody you want to give a shout out to.
I'd like to thank NXTGEN for this beautiful season. It's been very entertaining. Obviously, I didn't do most of the races this season, but I have watched a bit more of this season. It's very entertaining, and I would like to do it next season, and hopefully the championship maybe.
Yeah, there we go. You heard it here first, everyone, from Corey. Excellent. Fantastic, Corey. Thank you very much for taking part this season. Thank you very much for coming in for an interview tonight, and congratulations on your race win.
Thank you.
There we go. Corey Price, 2-time endurance race winner this season. He won at Montreal for round 3, and then round 6 of the championship was won by Ben McCluskey. However, we are going to switch now to our next interview of the night, which is going to be our silver category race winner, Matthew Cheverton. Now, we got a lot to chat about tonight, Matt, but yeah, welcome to the comms booth, Matt. You're an endurance race winner, so forgetting about the championship for now, let's just chat about the race, because that was a well-executed race. Would you agree?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I won an endurance race, so I'm happy about that. I've got a win, sprint win, feature wins, and now endurance. I'd missed out on the last 2, but then if I'm going to win one, it's got to be Le Mans. But yeah, I mean, I knew I had a chance. There's that other thing. But if I didn't have a chance, I wanted to win the race. So
yeah, it
was. I'll be honest, it was a get out my way. Like it was a do or die. Get out my way. I'm winning this thing. So, I mean, you probably saw it on the stream. There was a few hairy moves, but that's sort of the mentality I had. It was just, I'm winning this. You ain't stopping me.
That's brilliant. I love to hear that. But yeah, we could absolutely tell that. But there were some great moves at the same time. So yeah, is that just how you felt heading into tonight? It was just screw it. I've got to go for it, and first place is the very best I can do here.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, it got to the point I was like, shall I run that old Dale livery I had for Daytona last season? I was like, do I dare to go that mentality? And I didn't run it. I ran out of time, unfortunately. I was busy doing things, but the livery wasn't there, but the mentality was. So yeah, it was foot to the floor. I mean, luckily, the Mustang was actually a proper muscle car and blitzed everything and everyone in a straight line. So yeah, thankfully, the car actually lives up to its reputation. So, but yeah, it was just a bugger it. Let's just win it and see what happens.
Absolutely. I think we're about to watch one of your moves right now. You just got Matthew Addy on the inside, entering Indianapolis, and then I think heading into the next corner, the Arnage corner. Yep, you just plant it on the inside of the corner from Paul, I think that is, and you just weren't letting it go. But yeah, that sums up the mentality you've had tonight. Let's just look back to the rest of the championship. Second place is a fantastic achievement still, Matt. Let's not take anything away from that. It's been a fantastic battle all season between yourself and Kruger. You've been inseparable. But at what point this season do you pinpoint the moment where you might look back and think, I wish I'd done something different there,
Snetterton. It's literally the first thing I think of. Nothing on my end. My throttle got stuck open, had a massive pedal issue, so literally on the last lap it just, coming into the bridge corner, it just stuck open, so I flew across the grass and I had to park on the grass, turn the wheel off, turn it back on and then get going. And obviously we had some issues with Discord and iRacing that night, so there wasn't a feature to redeem anything, so I think it's definitely there. I mean, I also got reported for something rather trivial in my opinion, but anywho. Yeah, that's probably the main one. I think maybe Algarve as well, because it was just a Porsche. I bought a Mustang to a Porsche Cup race. I mean, usually I'm a bit of a broken record. I go and say, oh, this damn car, just so much quicker and everything else. But when you had half of the non-Porsche drivers agreeing with me, I was like, yeah, I'm on something this time. So I think, yeah, maybe those two, but definitely Snetterton with all the technical issues.
Yeah, it's a bit of a shame that we didn't have the feature race there as well. Maybe that would have changed things as well. But thinking about the cars, you've made a noise that you absolutely love that Mustang. But if there was GT3s again next season, I'm not sure if there is or isn't. But what would be your thinking be right now with cars for next season?
I have no idea. I mean, I've been toying with the Audi, been toying with the Corvette. I seem to like the way those two have been going. I quite like, and just taking a peek at that list that got released the other day about possible tracks in next season. There's quite a few technical ones, like Brands comes to mind, Mugello.
Yeah.
So I think a rather light, nimble mid-engine car might have something there. But then again, obviously, we have a brand new tyre update coming, which is going to shake everything up. And well, if it's anything like LMU, anything will be competitive. Like, I've done a few online races there, and I can be in a big front engine Mustang or the Aston Martin, and I can race anything, the Beamers, the McLarens, even the Porsche. So yeah, hopefully there's a nice gap between these two seasons to get some practice in. I mean, I lose week 13, I'm at the real Le Mans for the 24, so that would be nice fun. But yeah, we'll have to see. But early days, I think the R8 and the Corvette might be up there, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Yeah, all to be uncovered, I suppose, with tyre models that just completely turn the board over. So we'll see what happens. One question before we go to our usual ending segments. What was your favourite race of the season from your performance perspectives? What was your one that struck out as, yeah, that's the one that was the best?
Maybe this one. Maybe it's a bit of recency bias, but just the whole mentality of I don't care what happens, wall or win, was quite fun, and just going for it. If I had to say another one, maybe Zandvoort feature race, because that was more just, that one just felt more like proving a point. Like I think all of us in the team were a bit annoyed at that point. We had qualifying, we had the sprint. It was like, oh, once again our car's down on it, and the Porsche's flying, so we're losing points again. But to then, out of nowhere, just win it. Obviously there were mistakes by others, but to win it and to to have it that close for fight back then, it was just, oh, it was a good moment. It's a very good moment.
Excellent. My favourite was last week at Mossport, 2 wins. So,
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm surprised. But last week might have been a big blur for you, 5 wins on the trot.
Well, I mean, most sport was all right, but it just felt, like I say, it just felt a bit normal compared to the other 2. But
there's been more satisfaction
there,
in rounds where you've come through the pack and you've had to really work hard at it, is what you're saying, like tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I've had a habit of, especially in features and races where I have to start at the back, somehow find my way to the front in about 2 laps. I'll be honest, I don't know how I've done it every week. It just happens.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're a bit more fun because you've got to work for them, and then it's just a lot better when you win them, especially when maybe you're a bit down and behind on pace.
Yes, fair enough, yeah. Okay, final question, Matt. Is there anybody, final one of the championship, is there anybody you want to give a shout out to, anyone that might be watching?
Yeah, obviously, shout out to the team, shout out to the team, shout out to the sponsors. Claremont, RSR, not Ford Mustang, that was a goof. That was a goof the entire season. We're not actually sponsored by Ford Mustang. Everybody just happened to be driving it, so I was like, it's better than Coolness Aztec Racing 2, so there was a bit of play there. But yeah, shout out to the team, shout out to the sponsors. Shout out to Jeff. He, like I say, we were inseparable, kept it clean for the most part. Obviously we had the one ding dong last week, but to be fair, one ding dong in a very hard fought championship battle, yeah, fair play. He just had it, and a deserving winner. Enjoy gold. And then yeah, shout out to my parents. They're downstairs. I think they're watching the stream. I can hear them laughing and probably me buggering about. So shout out to those guys as well. And yeah.
Fantastic. Well done, Matt. 2nd place in the championship, but a win tonight as well. And throughout the season, you have won 6 races. So congratulations, Matt. We'll hopefully see you next season, and good luck in the NXTCC.
Yep. Cheers. Thank you.
There we go. Race winner from today, Matthew Cheverton, and 2nd in the championship, as we confirmed not too long ago. And there's a moth in my room right now, so I might be flinching a little bit, as you can't see on the stream. But right, let's move on. We're going to chat to bronze category winner next. We're going to chat to Mark Sykes, Mr. Next Gen himself, as I'm calling him. But yeah, Mark joins us in the comms booth for the first time this season because he is a race winner. Mark, hello mate, how are you?
I'm good, Alex. How are you, sir?
Not too bad, not too bad. I could have done with a lot less drama tonight, but we'll carry on. Look, your first win for, I don't know how long it's been, actually. Can you shed some light on that?
Yeah, no, I just had a really good race. Just kept my head down and just raced my own race, if you see what I'm saying. I was a bit nervous for where I was starting in bronze, which was like in the middle, basically in the middle of the pack of bronze. So I was thinking, oh my god, here we go, I'm going to get caught up in something, because I am Mr. Unlucky, you know, from the NXTCC and the GT3 league. I could be Mr. Unlucky and just get caught up in some silly stuff, but I managed to stay out of it. Kept my head down, just kept being consistent, which I did. And yes, I had Mr. Dory obviously in the chat with me, helping me, coaching me on certain things, because I should have Bathurst. I watched the stream back and you said I probably should have won that, which I should have done. I messed up my pit stop at Bathurst where my pit crew didn't start fueling me, which was obviously my mistake, because I forgot to check begin fueling. So Jamie, every lap, every pit stop, he's like, remember begin fueling to help me out. So yeah, that was the strategy, and yeah, it paid off.
Absolutely did. It just seems to be something about these endurance races, because Bathurst was a really good performance as well, but what is it about these endurance races? Is that just a format you prefer?
Yeah, I think I do prefer the endurance format. I mean, obviously I love the sprint and feature race format, but sometimes I just find Maybe it's my age, I don't know. But maybe it's like the sprint race, it just gets very hectic because everyone's trying to just get up the field as quick as possible. And that's not me. I like to take my time and sort of suss things out. And like, when I was catching Stephan, I was like sussing out where he was slower, where he was quicker, and just sort of gaining a little bit of time every lap. And I could take my time to do that, if you see what I'm saying. So yeah, it was good. And then I had Mr. Adam Wilson-Weir catching me at a rate of knots every pit stop, which was worrying me a bit, but I managed to keep him back there as well.
Absolutely. And a win for you tonight, and a win for our beloved Chelsea last night as well. Ain't that great?
Oh, mate. Yes, I know. I watched it last night. Yes, I know. Yeah, watching the match last night. I know we're not talking about racing, but yeah, we went 1-0 down. I was like, oh god, here we go again. And then the second half, I was just like, yes, go on! I was screaming at the telly. But yeah, it's been a double header of wins for me. Like you say, Chelsea last night and me tonight.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm happy as well. Not happy that you've beaten one of my drivers tonight, but we'll let that slide. In regards to next season, you know, even though I'm an admin, I haven't really seen what's going on with next season. Without giving away too much, do you reckon you could kind of give us some indicators of what to expect for Season 8?
Yeah, there's going to be some little tweaks. I was speaking to Gaz today before the race, and he's started the championship document, which is basically going to be the same. There are going to be a few little tweaks in there, which obviously I can't diverge at the moment. But obviously Gaz put out a document about certain tracks that drivers might want to see in season. Where are we? Season 8? Yeah, season 8. And we had a look at that earlier, and basically there's a good 8 tracks in there already that drivers have voted quite highly for. So we could see quite a different track list, if you see what I'm saying, but more of what the drivers have chosen. So yeah, looking forward to season 8.
Fantastic, looking forward to that. And if you want to keep an eye on the news, ladies and gentlemen, click the link in the description to get access to Next Gen Racing's Discord server, and you can also get involved as a driver via that link. But Mark, the floor is yours. Is there anybody you want to give a shout out to before we head off?
Well, yeah, obviously Mr. Jamie Dorey for being my teammate and really helping me out this season. I'm not the best sometimes at strategy, fuel saving, etc, 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 and checking a box that says begin refueling. That really does help when you do a pit stop. So shout out to him, shout out to Gaz for just putting up with everything that goes on with hosting a league. Shout out to you, sir, for your excellent commentary. I do watch back every week, and it's been superb as usual. And just shout out to all the drivers taking part. It's been a great season in my eyes, and really appreciate you guys taking time out to race in a Next Gen League with us.
Fantastic words. There we go. Thank you, Mark. Well done on your win tonight. We'll see you next season.
Thank you, Alex.
There we go. That is our 3 race winners tonight. In the gold category, Corey Price. In the silver category, Matthew Cheverton. And in the bronze category, Mark Sykes. Now we're going to turn our attention to the championship winners next of all. Now, we don't have an update yet on the gold category championship. Now, I've done some jiggery pokery in the background to kind of figure out what the championship situation is for gold category, and it is different to how it looked on stream earlier. So apologies for the confusion there, ladies and gentlemen. But we are going to turn our attention next to the silver category champion, and we can now greet him into the comms box to say, Jeffrey Kruger, congratulations, you are the silver category champion of the Next Gen Racing GT3 League Season 7. So just tell us, first of all, Jeff, just make sure you're off mute, just tell us how you're feeling in this moment right now, being a champion again. Okay, Jeff, if you can hear me, your mic's on mute. But yeah, hopefully we'll get Jeff in just a few moments' time. But yeah, as you can see there, ladies and gentlemen, 10-point gap in the championship between Jeffrey Kruger and Matthew Cheverton. Cheverton might have won the race tonight, but Kruger did enough by finishing 3rd. And he only had to finish 4th or higher, but finishing 3rd in this race secured him the endurance win, the endurance podium, and the championship win. Now we have got radio silence from Jeffrey Kruger at the moment. We'll have to chat to him later. Hopefully, I do want to speak to him tonight to get his reaction on this championship. But we are going to chat to... Oh, hang on a minute. I think we have got Jeffrey Kruger back. So there we go. Jeff, are you back with us? Maybe not. That's okay. Right, we'll have to wait another... We'll have to wait later on then. Hopefully Jeff can send me a message. So let me know. Right, let's chat to bronze category champion. Now, we chatted to him last week, and of course, he won the championship last week, 1 round earlier. Not only 1 round earlier, he won it even before he even turned the wheel in the competitive sessions last week. But we've got Adam Wilson-Weir in the comms booth with us. Welcome back, Adam. Bronze category champion. You were already crowned champion last week, but you've had a great race here to kind of celebrate that championship. You didn't get the win, but you had a really tough but good race there to get second place there. How are you feeling after tonight?
Yeah, well, a couple of mistakes. I was kind of pushed a bit too hard to catch the leaders game after the first lap incident. So it was just basically just trying to catch back up again. And I think when I got quite close to the mark, I think my rear end just went on me. It was because the car was a bit light, so. I fell back to about 6 seconds again, so it was basically just catching up. But yeah, I thought I'd just come back on just for you, Alex, Yeah,
of course, and we want to chat to the champions as always. But it's going to be a little bit of a repeat of last week. But let's just chat through the season. You've had a real dominant season. You've had a few little bumps along the road along the way, but pretty much throughout the season you've remained strong in category, just got yourself back up the field in certain races where it hasn't gone quite to plan. 8 wins this season, 1 in endurance, 2 in feature races and 5 in sprint races. But let's just call back to the season. What really was the highlight of your season? What was the one round of the season where that one stuck out to you as your favourite?
There's so many. I mean, the racing's been fantastic this season. I actually quite enjoyed this one. I think it was the first stint. It was Andy Shell and myself battling really hard, and I love a good battle, and getting the elbows out and everything. I love it. So definitely that would be one for the books. And I think maybe, was it on Canadian Tire Motorsport? I think I had a spin. Was it with the Griffellier? And I had to fight back up to pole position.
I can't remember, to be honest.
Yeah, but I know one of them I had to fight from the back because I spun, and I think I got the win in that one. So that was probably one of the moments. I thought it's kind of like one of the Max Verstappen moments. He starts from the back and just makes his way up. So
yeah, absolutely. Looking forward to next season. Now, we do have a rough idea of what's coming up next. We don't actually know if it's GT3s or not, or something else. But I heard from Cheverton earlier, a new tyre model's coming to iRacing. Obviously, week 13's upon us, which always changes things. What's your thinking in terms of cars for next season, given that you're most likely going to be in silver category next season?
I mean, it's just trial and error. There's no real, no one can pinpoint what's going to be the best car. But if you look at the cars, you can tell like what ones are more aerodynamic, even in real life racing. I definitely think the Porsche will be strong, and even McLaren, just the way the aero is on it. I'm not too sure about Mustang. Corvette could even be strong, but I just don't like the way it drives. But we'll just have to wait and see. Me and the team will just sit down, just run laps and try different things, different setups, obviously with the fixed setup for next gen, and just see how the car feels really, and what suits us and what suits our driving style.
Absolutely. And are you excited by the challenge of silver category next season? To be fair, qualifying has suggested that you're right in amongst it, but how are you feeling about silver category next season?
Yeah, well, anyone can do a hot lap. That's the easy part. Going fast, it's being consistent. That's you need to be doing it consistent, as I always say. But yeah, I'm always ready for a challenge. Like even if they stick me in goal, like I'm pushing like all the time. So whatever they throw at me, I'm ready.
Excellent stuff. Okay, well, final interview of the season, Adam. Until next season, where, well, let's see if you're winning races in silver category. But yeah, anybody you want to give a shout out to who might be watching the broadcast tonight?
Yeah, I definitely know David Wilson's watching. I just want to give a shout out to him and everyone else that's watching as well. And especially for the team, the guys did fantastic this season. Like I couldn't be more pleased. I'm like a proud dad. So everyone did absolutely unreal. And hopefully we'll carry it on to next season. Just want to give a shout out to all the sponsors as well. So we've got Capture, Moz and Dubby. So thank you very much, guys.
Excellent stuff. Well, thank you, Adam, for entertaining us this season. Good luck next season.
Thank you, Alex, and I hope to see you soon.
Excellent stuff. Thank you. Right, there we go. Adam Wilson-Weir, the champion of bronze category this season. I think we have got Jeffrey Kruger back in radio signal, so we'll give it another go. But Jeffrey Kruger will join us in the comms box now. Still on mute, but hopefully we'll unmute very shortly. But Jeffrey Kruger will join us back in the comms box. He is our silver category champion, as we mentioned, and we do have an update on the points, ladies and gentlemen. It has been sorted out. And Jeff, are you there? Can you hear me? Maybe not, and maybe a third time lucky later on. Okay, we are going to skip on to what's happened in the gold category now. Now, gold category, there was a little bit of drama earlier on in that the championship standings weren't quite right. But if you are just tuning in here, ladies and gentlemen, we did have the biggest drama of all, where Ben McCluskey had one hand on the trophy for gold category, and a disconnection happened on the final lap, which has taken away the championship win from Ben McCluskey and has handed it over to Stephan Wessels, who finished second in this race tonight. And we're going to chat to Stephan now. Stephan Wessels will join us in the comms booth right now. So Stephan, welcome back to the comms booth. First time we've chatted to you for a little while, but you are the champion tonight, Stephan. Probably not in the way you would have wanted it, but nonetheless, you are a NXTGEN Racing GT3 League champion.
Yeah, how's it, Alex? Yeah, I still am a bit lost for words. It's not a way that you want to win, but at the end of the day, it's the equivalent of, I think you mentioned on stream, like an engine failure or something like that. We've seen it in real racing. And also, unfortunately, the last round doesn't carry a drop round.
Yeah.
So it really, I was happy with second. I mean, I had some issues in the beginning of the season, so I didn't expect this. Benji did a very good race. He just kept his nose clean. I think at turn one there was a little bit of touchy here and there, nothing too serious, but yeah, it was just not expected, eh?
No, not expected at all. It was quite a shocking moment in that race. When it happened, when you realised it happened, you know, what was the reaction from you?
Shock. The first reaction was, I can't believe this happened. And then my teammates just said, just keep it on the road.
Yeah.
So they said, just drive it to the end. It's the last lap. And I also had a certain Mr. Langford behind me that his lights
wouldn't go away.
were very, very close to my rear bumper. So I think it was just get it to the end, and then see what happens, because it was a bit of chaos. Don't know quite where everybody finished. I'm sure it will sink in, and I will be happy. But look, I have lost two championships in the last race due to being taken out on lap one by people not in the championship or something like that. So then I've had to drive Le Mans for 2 hours knowing that I've lost the championship on lap one, which is horrendous.
Yeah.
So I know how it feels to have something to go, like, have a lead into the final race, have something go bad. It's not great. I've sent Benji a message already. He hasn't responded yet. I don't think he feels like talking to anybody right now.
Yeah, I can imagine he's pretty angry right now. Bless him. I always say that the internet disconnection is the sim racing equivalent of an engine blowing up, and it certainly seems like it's been the case tonight. But let's chat a little bit more about your season, Steph. The turning point really was Zandvoort, I think, because round one you had a great sprint race, not such a good feature race. In round two, a similar kind of round where one race didn't go so well and the other one did go well. You scored no points at Montreal. Snetterton was cut short, but then it all started coming together at Zandvoort. Was there something you changed from that point onwards? Because from that point onwards, you were pretty much the fastest in the field.
So, I mean, lap time wise, from race one, I was there, pole position, won the first sprint. So I think pace wise throughout the season, I was doing well. But what also a big difference is in the beginning of the season, the grids were a lot bigger. So reverse grids were a lot more spaces to overtake. And not just bigger in gold, but bigger in bronze and in silver. So if you do have an incident and you end up between that traffic, it's way more to get through. Okay, so that plays a big part. And then the other problem was in a lot of those races, I actually did the hard work. I would maybe win the sprint, end up behind Benji, overtake Benji and whoever was third or something, sometimes Lucas and Benji. Like I would actually be ahead of where I'm supposed to be. And then through no fault of my own, someone would come across or get touched or something and I get involved in it. So that was the misfortune at Watkins and at Luzano. At Canada, I had my issue with my son that I had to go sort out, so I had to bail out of that race. So that was my engine failure for the season, but luckily that was still by drop round. So Benji's one happened at the worst time it could, right? And after that, I mean, like Zandvoort, very good sprint race. The feature race was, the first half was horrendous, like stuck in traffic, couldn't do a thing. And then as we kind of went through the rest of the race, I could make up some positions. And I also felt that Benji was very safe in overtaking. I think sometimes a little too safe. So I think I gained some positions there, same at Algarve. And then the roles were reversed at Bathurst when the Porsche wasn't the greatest going up that mountain. And I had a 10-second gap with the full course yellows. I got lucky. And then I got traffic on the mountain, so I lost 3 seconds in a lap. And then Benji caught up to me. He was quicker. With other traffic, I probably would have been able to hang on. We don't know. But in any case, I mean, it was back and forth like that. And Benji's just so consistent. The guy doesn't make a mistake. And even in a bad, I mean, tonight he had a bad start. He got, I think Ultra spun when all the cars like bunched up together. Benji got caught out behind him, but he doesn't do, like, I got a bunch of slowdowns in the beginning because every time I got to someone's bumper, I can't see the apex. Racing on a single screen, it makes life a bit difficult. So Benji was just consistent, you know. He knew his lap time to Delta. He stuck there, and I think he overtook me twice by me making mistakes and him coming past me, right? So overall, I would say he did the better race tonight, and he would have finished ahead of me.
Yes, certainly. Well, certainly probably would have finished in front in this endurance, but it hasn't come to be. Let's chat a bit about the team as well. CSA Team Woza, I think I'm saying that right, but you've won the team's championship as well. It's very much been yourself and Kruger waving the flag for the team this season, and the turning point, I think, was round 5 when you took the lead in the championship. But plenty to celebrate for the CSA camp, is that right?
Yeah, no, we're super stoked. So tonight, our focus was Jeffrey's championship and the team championship. That was our focus. So our aim was top 3, both of us, and then we should be solid, especially we were suspecting Adam would win bronze. So basically, Jeffrey's mission was get your championship and finish in front of George. And I just had to try and get a podium. That was our mission for the night.
Right.
So we succeeded. Either way, we succeeded in that, and we're very chuffed because we have Kyle. Yeah, Kyle did Canada, and then he's stopped racing iRacing. He got a bit anti-iRacing. He's playing some other sims now. So we was just myself and Jeff, and luckily Zanford and all those races. I mean, both of us had very good rounds. I think at last round at Mosport, I think Jeff probably had a tough round, but other than that, he was a solid day.
Absolutely. Well, a big congratulations to CSA for winning the team's championship by 51 points in the end, pending any penalties that come later on. Just going back to the Gold Championship. Look, if there's a next season, how confident are you feeling about next season in terms of defending your championship?
They're about the entire season, so that's fine, but next season is new tire models. It might favor some guys over other guys. Who knows? Maybe I'm better at it. Maybe Benji's better at it. Maybe Harry's better at it if he's doing it again. We can't say for sure, but I mean, I feel like I will be in the mix. You never know. Maybe Lucas comes back.
Hopefully.
Yeah, so I'm positive. Not going to worry about next season at the moment, but I will still put some time in on the sim and do some other races in the meantime. Get used to the new tyres.
Absolutely. Enjoy your time off and plenty of time to get some practice in. Look, Steph, you are the Gold Championship winner. Congratulations. Is there anybody you want to give a shout out to before we head off?
I would say big thanks to the admins for running the league and obviously putting everything together, all the time that goes into this. I've ran, actually a couple of the guys in the CSA team has run a league before, and not a big league like this, but we know even that was a lot of effort behind the scenes from your personal time, so big thanks to that. And you guys also run so many leagues in this platform, so very well done on that. And then for my teammates and to Alwyn for basically getting us all to race and putting everything together on our team side, and then the rest of the guys just all bringing a vibe and having a great race out there. It doesn't always go that way, but yeah, to all the teammates and all the vibes they bring, eh?
Excellent stuff. Well,
and then I have to say, sorry, one more thing, and a big thanks to the competition, especially Harry and Benji, for keeping me on my toes the entire season.
Great stuff. Well, congratulations, Steph. You are the Gold Category Champion, and CSA Team Woza are the team's champions. Go celebrate, and hopefully we'll see you next season. Congratulations.
Cool. Yeah.
There we go. And we're going to dive straight into what will be our final interview of the night. It will be our Silver Category Champion next. And hopefully we get some words out of Jeff this time. Otherwise, we'll have to get some other words another time. But we've got Jeffrey Kruger in the comms box with us. Jeff, can you hear us? Okay, not third time lucky then. Okay, we are going to have to wrap it up though. Let's just have a quick roundup of our results of the race tonight. In the gold category, it's Corey Price who took the win in category from Stephan Wessels in second position. Steph Wessels taking it in the final lap there, taking second place in the final lap there with Ben McCluskey disconnecting. Harry Langford takes third position from Gaz Williams in fourth position, and Jamie Dory finishing off in fifth. Jack Pittas takes sixth position from Mike Barber in seventh, and Sean Shute in eighth from Ben Bennyworth and Jesse Payne Wilkins rounding off the top 10. And of course Ben McCluskey not classified as a finisher, and Ben Altria, I think he did finish that race but comes through in 12th position. Silver category next. And it's Matthew Cheverton who took the win in category by 16 seconds in the end from Phil McDougall, who did enough to get himself third in the championship as a result of that result. Jeffrey Kruger did himself enough in that race to get himself first in the championship, but finished third in this race tonight. Alan McCain, a brilliant, strong performance in the mid-race there and the latter part of the race there to get himself up into 4th place from that race. With Mark Baker in 5th position, from Matthew Addy in 6th, George Stone in 7th, Paul Williams in 8th, Ian Manners in 9th, and Alejandro Yulate in 10th. And in the bronze category, Mark Sykes takes his first win of the season, and it's here on the final round. He takes it just from eventual championship winner Adam Wilson-Weir in 2nd position. Stephen de Gravelia in 3rd position with his one and only podium of the season. A strong performance from him tonight. Gabriel Papaconstantino comes through in 4th place. Andy Chell 5th from Rob Savage in 6th position, and I believe Rob Savage did enough to finish 2nd in the championship. Andy Rooney takes 7th position from Jonathan Berry in 8th position, Simon Hunt in 9th and Wesley Lewin in 10th. 11th position was Elwyn Sykes, Sammy Ariba in 12th, Stein Vatens in 13th, Michael Vangeli is 14th and Matt Gatter 15th. And the championship standings. Stephan Wessels takes the championship from Ben McCluskey, who disconnected on the final lap of the final race and lost the championship as a result. Harry Langford, 3rd position for him, secured tonight, with Gaz Williams securing 4th position from tonight, with a good race from him, securing 4th in the race as well. Jack Pittas takes 5th position from Ben Outria in 6th, whose race started very badly, but he still gets 6th place in the end. Mike Barber with a good comeback in this final round. He gets 7th in the championship, just 1 point shy of Ben Outria. Jamie Dory in 8th place from Jake Pitt in 9th, and Lucas Seedor is 10th position. In the silver category, your champion is Jeffrey Kruger by 10 points from Matthew Cheverton. Phil McDougall takes 3rd place in that final race from Matthew Addy in 4th. Alan McCain in 5th position from George Stone in 6th. Nigel Stock, 7th position from Jason Raff. Mark Baker in 9th and Paul Williams in 10th. Bronze category champion was Adam Wilson-Weir. He won it 2 rounds early from Rob Savage and Gabriel Papaconstantino, who are both tied for points in 2nd place. I'm not sure who gets 2nd place of the two, but on here it's Rob Savage, so congratulations to him. And Gabriel Papaconstantino by putting himself onto the podium spot in this final round. Jonathan Berry falls to 4th place from that round, just 1 point shy of 2nd place. Mark Sykes rises up to 5th place as a result of his win in that endurance race, and he also got an endurance win inherently in Bathurst. That was due to penalties, but it is on the road his first endurance win. Stein Vatens 6th position from Danny Switzer in 7th, Michael Evangeli 8th, Andy Chell in 9th and Andy Rooney in 10th. And remember, these are all provisional championship standings based on post-race penalties if any comes forward. CSA Team Woza takes the team championship by 51 points from Mission R powered by Maud, and Aztec Racing with Ford Mustang, or Aztec Mustang with Clariton, I think their sponsor was, as they would rather call it themselves. They round off the top 3 in the team's championship. That rounds off the season, ladies and gentlemen. This has been round 10 of the championship here at Le Mans, the final round of the championship. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for watching this season. This has been Thursday night here at NXTGEN Racing TV on YouTube, YouTube, Facebook, and Kick. My name's Alex Everett. I've been your commentator tonight. If you want to get involved in NXTGEN Racing in any other seasons we have here on the GT3 League and any other championships, including Touring Cars on Tuesdays and Legends League on Tuesdays as well as other leagues that are on the horizon here at NXTGEN Racing, please scan the QR code on the lower left of our screen there, and if that doesn't work, click the link in the description of this video. A huge shout out to our partner sponsors and affiliates here at NXTGEN Racing that include PowerMax Racing, Mark Sykes Designs, Benji Sim Photos, Motorsport UK Esports, Sam Cases, Moser Racing, Joyce Design, Falconer PC and Doble Motorcycles. This has been NXTGEN Racing GT3 Season 7. We'll see you on the other side for Season 8 coming soon. Thank you for watching tonight. Thank you for watching for the season. We'll see you next time. Good night.
Thank you for tuning in. Until next time, that's all from us here at NextGen Racing, the home of clean and fair sim racing for all.